definitely a bit of prize pool there. And as you said, a bit of pride. Obviously, these mid-table teams were really fighting it out throughout that second half of the stage. And we couldn't really differentiate them. There was a lot of jumping back and forth, up and down the ladder. So hopefully now we get a better gauge of where all these teams sit.
Yeah, there's a $3,000 prize difference between these two positions. So whoever wins this essentially wins themselves $3,000. Nothing to scoff at. You were talking earlier today when we were going to get coffee about how much you won for last stage. How much was that again?
I think it ended up being about $500, and that was last place. So I was pretty stoked with that.
Look, these guys are not professional players, right? Obviously, GG Chiefs, they get paid to play the game. They're like, salaried. They've got some support. These guys don't have that level of support. So $3,000, I certainly wouldn't say no to that.
Especially with a team like OUTLAST, the youngest team in the comp. I mean, where else are you going to find that kind of money unless you're working a bit of a part-time or casual job? And yeah, the ban's coming out now. Obviously, OUTLAST banning out the Finker straight away, trying to get saved off his game.
Does that mean we're going to see the Goyo again?
I reckon we might. If I had to guess.
You did actually make good on the promise yesterday. You did buy me my coffee today because I got it right about that Goyo pick, but I don't think I can cash in twice on that one. It's too easy a bet at this point.
I mean, yeah, like, I was happy to pay it out just to give you the satisfaction of winning the bet, but realistically, I think that was always going to be the case.
Here we go. Even Killerman's calling for it. He's got the read in. Here we go.
Dang, there it is.
And have a look at Save's face. He's immediately in the all chat, bro. What's funny is he actually farmed yesterday, even without it.
Yeah, he played. It was a bit different, though, wasn't it? It looked like he was a bit slower on the starts compared to what we're used to. Probably just working his way into the game a little bit more on a different pick. But we did get to see him play a few different things. We saw him playing Lion. We saw him playing Dokkaebi. And yeah, we might have to see him doing the same thing today.
A bit of border. We saw OUTLAST struggle a little bit on border yesterday against the Chiefs. In contrast, though, CS actually looked scarily solid against GG. They took it to all 12 rounds, almost hit overtime. We do have, like, CS, the dominant favorites for this game. I think almost everyone on the talent team picks them. Did you go with CS as well?
I did go with CS. Yeah. I think the saved effect, save diff today is going to be a bit of the difference. So I don't see OUTLAST being able to get over that hump. Obviously, the target bans are a good start. And yeah, yesterday's matches played out quite weird in terms of that CS GG match. We expected it to be a very attacking-sided border, as we've come to expect in this region. It ended up being very defensive-sided.
Yeah.
GG going on the defense and winning 5 in a row. And then in reverse, nearly got reverse swept. So it'll be interesting to see here how this match plays out. OUTLAST on the defense first, of course.
Yeah, well, they picked it, of course, because CS got to choose a map pick. In fact, in every single map in this veto, the team that had a choice of which side to start, whether it was regulation or overtime, always picked defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Despite being, in theory, one of the more attacking-sided maps, it's going to be a defender's game. We can't get too ahead of ourselves if OUTLAST come off flying here, because CS will likely come back in the second half.
Looks like there's going to be some pretty early aggression here towards security. Killerman taking this armory external hallway. And Bailey's going to look for an early pick on Killerman, but won't win the fight. Killerman boosting that entry stat. That's +1. That's big for him.
Yeah, and pretty awkward there for OUTLAST, especially with the break room player of Yentai going down. I mean, that is your entire control of CCTV and break, which is realistically the linchpin of this defense. That's just evaporated.
Yeah, especially with this mirror here on the armory wall, it's a pretty obvious sort of setup for what they're trying to hold. It looked like it was going to be that external wall of security being open to get some angles in. Relays is going to look for a pick here. He needs to find one back, but he will die. Killerman entering into break.
Yeah, 3K for him so far. The E1D from the line is going to ring on out. Saved actually gets down, but not finished off as of yet, and the revive will eventually come through. Nice shot there from Killerman. Living up to the name, he's found a 4K. And it's all up to Ned now. Killerman's been very quiet this stage, but he kicks off this game with an ace and a flawless round. The circular sphere's on the attack.
I mean, yeah, there isn't a whole lot to break down from that round. Killerman just had an absolutely amazing round. I don't know where this was the whole stage. This guy was really struggling with the entry stat throughout the stage. I think he ended up going -10 once the stage had concluded. Obviously someone that we actually expected to be very high in that statistic.
Stage 1, he was like a top 10 player in the league on Antic.
I think one of the caveats of that, though, was that as high as his KD was and as high as his entry was, his cost was actually quite low. So I think what that means is throughout rounds when he was playing, if he got a kill, he probably took over the rounds and he killed. He went on to kill a lot more. But if he's not able to get that opening pick, then he seems to struggle. But a great round from him to start off, putting his team in the best spot possible. Obviously saved, not required in that round.
Yeah, so Killerman this stage has been the 26th best player, 26th ranked player out of 40. So that's not particularly high. It's obviously worse than average. And in terms of opening engagements, which you highlighted, 16 kills and 21 deaths. So you're definitely struggling a little bit on that one. I love the meme in the chat here. Saved. Since the Fink has been banned on out, he no longer has access to that LMG. So what's he going to bring? The Fuse with that same LMG. And I think he's just shooting to let them know that, hey, I'm running this, by the way, guys.
And yeah, it's probably a bit of a toss-up between which utility you prefer. I don't know where Fuse is going to be used on this map. Finka, obviously with her global utility, is always a good pick. Get to heal up your teammates. Get to reduce the effect of stuns when entering. But yeah, the Fuse here, I'm not expecting to see a lot of this utility being used. But once again, it looks like they're putting very heavy emphasis on taking over the security room. Kind of surprising considering that...
Oh, he's dead. Nope. Oh, the timing. The drones are coming out. It's literally just a repeat for Outlast. They're like, look, we just died in CCTV and break. Let's just not do that again. And there's a nice pick for Bailey. Very aggressive, jumping up. Surprised there's no refrag, though, from Neptune. He was a little bit scared to peek that window. Bailey's actually been allowed a lot of mobility in here.
Yeah, I think this mirror on the armory wall is affording him a lot of, as you said, mobility and ability to work around insecurity. Relay's going to go for an aggressive pick here onto the rafters. Won't be able to find anything.
Oh.
Will get refragged by Killerman. Physics will pick up 1-2 on Yentire.
Yeah, that advantage is just evaporated for Outlasts. Almost a kill going back again. Killerman 6-0 so far. The CS have taken control of Break and CCTV. Office has also been forfeited. Outlasts have really been pushed back.
Yeah, and it means that a lot of this map control is given away. ACOG obviously still has this shield in Archives to hold on to Office, but if that gets cleared, there isn't much utility there for him. Looks like the radio wall is eventually going to get open. Bailey hits a really nice shot towards 90 onto Killerman. And all of a sudden, this becomes a lot more winnable for the defense.
Last nade goes out from Japer. He does get a kill on the back of it. Baiting the swing on out, 2v2.
Located by attackers.
And it looks like Outlast are just holding their positions, not looking to retake Archives at all. 2 players in Armory as the drone comes out, and Circular Spheres know exactly where these last 2 players are. So they make their way forward. Physics with that diffuser in hand. A little bit of cover as well should they get to site with that bomb. And also that deployable shield to enable their holding position. Nice entry there from Physics. He wants to back it up and cross, and he does safely. But Japer's low HP, and Ned is fully capable of clutching this. 1 bullet's all he needs to get the kill onto Japer. Physics also low, but he's now finished the plant. That's a nice shot. Good pre-fire from Ned. Second one, all he needs is a single of these shots to land, and he doesn't get it on the second spray. Japer now backing on up. He doesn't have util, aside from 2 flashes to speak of. Is Ned going to be able to stick this? The swing has to come through, and Japer guarantees that round for Circular Spheres. 2 attacks in a row to kick off Border.
Yeah, I thought once Japer had left the building, he might have been a little bit too far away to catch him on that defuse, but well-timed and well-executed from him. Or maybe the SMG-12 of Ned may have let him down in that 2v1, especially with Japer so low. It looked like he was just whiffing the shots, but a well-done round from Circular Spheres. Obviously, I think when they have the man advantage, Outlast sometimes struggle to sort of reset, hold their nerve, and just not give picks away. We saw it just there. After the 5v3, bring it back to a 3v3 basically straight away. So it's really on them now. Just once they get those opening picks and play aggressive, because that is definitely the win condition of Border.
3v5 from CS to a 2v1. Like, they got 4 kills while only losing 1 player. That's pretty wild.
And generally in those situations, it's not so much on the attackers doing anything fantastic. It's
The
as a
defense
defense
is giving them chances.
You have to make mistakes to give away stuff like that. So yeah, if Outlast are any chance in this game, especially on these defenses, they need to take every advantage they can get. And it does start with keeping man advantage.
So that's 2 failures on the Archives and Armory bomb site. So they're not going to keep on banging their head against that bomb site. They're going to switch it up, go Tellers Archives. Much more roam-centric, this one. I mean, it's all about roaming loosely on that top floor. You don't have to hard-hold positions like CCTV quite so much, which, to be honest, has been a bit of a struggle. Even though they did find 2 picks on the back of that, they clearly weren't able to hold it in the aftermath of all that.
Yeah, and most Archives pushes will be centered more around holding office. So yeah, the whole premise of the defense changes a little bit. Maybe they have some different setups that they can look back onto. Looks like this mirror in the 90 hallway is pretty exposed to 90, but it looks like probably the Castle's in the long hallway protecting it. And Castle's taking up this position here on East Stairs.
Tell you what, Castle's getting a lot of play on border these days. I love the way that teams are really changing, especially like that long hallway. Very, very long hallway. There are so many places you can put Castle barricades to make it a much shorter hallway. We've seen that pretty much every round from OUTLAST.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the Castle on border way back in the day. It just forced attackers as well to bring as much soft breach as they can. Nep will find the first one onto Bailey though, just flushed out by that nade. Really good use of util. It looks like this is more of a split push, kind of a split between security and office. They obviously need to clear this mirror before they can make any entry. ACOG will take the fight onto Killerman and find him.
That's a good pick. You mentioned ACOG yesterday. You reckon he's probably one of the best players on OUTLAST, despite Relays being the one to really farm the stats statistically. He had a shocker yesterday. You reckon ACOG's a lot more consistent, at least that's what you told me yesterday?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with what he's been able to do. He's obviously just turned 18 years old this season, so he's still got a lot of learning left to do, but from what I've seen, super consistent, able to play those supportive roles as well. Able to play those anchory type roles on defense. So
I don't know where he is as well.
A lot of qualities that you don't usually see in younger players. So I am excited to see what he does. Obviously, still holding this office area.
What is this doubling up of the position? Ned is completely exposed to East Stairs. That was a little bit of a mistake. I thought maybe the idea was to try and bait to allow ACOG a kill. Perhaps those circular spheres won't realize he's here. Unfortunately, that Dokkaebi call pretty much gives up his position, and now he's sprayed, trying to take a fight. Not likely to survive here as Relays goes down. Neptune's gone bananas this round. ACOG in a 1 versus 5. Japer finishes him off, and that's the round done. OUTLAST completely picked to pieces. Circular spheres, they've just won 3 rounds in a row, and 2 of them have been flawless.
Yeah, probably more of what we expected yesterday from border with these attacker-sided rounds. Obviously, if you play super sort of passive on these defenses, you're going to get run over. I've mentioned it a few times on the desk, and that's sort of what just happened there. They had a setup, but it was sort of too split. You need to have an idea on border about where, in particular, you want to be holding. So if the emphasis is on office, you can't have somebody just sitting in the middle of office with the East Stairs wall open, and then obviously Ned look to, as you said, maybe bait, maybe double up and crossfire in office, but there weren't that many positions where he could play. So I think probably the best idea would have been to fall off, sort of let ACOG fight for his life and waste a bit more time. But 3-0 down on these defenses, and the attack has been called.
And Say doesn't got a kill, by the way.
He hasn't been needed so far.
The win condition, not necessary.
Seeing Killerman and Neptune have massive rounds, a quad kill and an ace between them. And I mean, that just makes his life a little easier. But it is a little scary, isn't it? Because we know that at any point, Saved could turn it on and do the same.
I mean, it's not like he's dying every round. He's 0-1, I think. So he's only seen 1 gunfight this entire game so far. And Circular Spheres are taking some inspo from Antic and getting all about it in the chat. I would love to know what happened after that Antic game yesterday. Love to see the punch on between the admins and those guys.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't see the sort of the intensity.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't go quite that far.
That we have managed to see by the end of that game. It was unprecedented, I reckon, in our region to see that kind of language.
In a bloody 5th place match.
In a 5th place match, yeah, I did say it on the desk. I said it's kind of interesting to see the egos being
tossed around, fighting over the dregs.
But honestly, over 3rd place, I'd probably expect a little more. This is to be the 3rd place team in a region where Chiefs and GG are top 2. there is a bit of pride that comes with that. So
yeah, especially considering like the old Antic team was a very solid shoe-in for maybe contesting for the major, and the new Antic team back when they were Man LFO were also a solid chance contesting for the major. So even Supernova at a point looked maybe promising back when they were Rhodium. So there are plenty of teams in this region to make you feel like third place is actually a pretty decent achievement. And yet we're having OUTLAST, who have made their debut into this level in this stage, and Circular Spheres, who have had a real fall from grades. Like, these are the ones fighting over third and fourth.
yeah, and I think that, honestly, with OUTLAST, that best of one style throughout the group stage really helped them out. They were able to really knuckle down and pick certain maps that they were really confident on. We saw players like Relays, obviously, able to get a lot of kills. Yentai will find the first pick on the Physics. Really nice shot, and that's exactly what OUTLAST need now. Just to hold this man advantage. Kid is dropped.
Oh,
and Bailey's
aggressive run out.
Big run out. Oh.
Almost gets that second one, but a little bit of an overextension almost costs him his life. And meanwhile, Relays has also gone down. So as you've said, OUTLAST, they can find opening kills, but they often get them traded back. That was good timing there from Yentai, saved. Still yet to have an impact. It's all up to Killer Man. And it's only been about a minute and a half, Vinny, and already the round is pretty much done.
Yeah, I'd say that tactical timeout worked exactly as planned. I can only assume during that tac timeout they said, you know what, guys? We're 3-0 down. We're playing border defenses. And we just need to run at them a little bit. Don't let them set the pace. Don't let them take map control. Let's fight them on the outside of the map. If we lose the rounds, at least we gave it a crack. That's exactly what happened. They went for run-outs. They were peeking all the external hallways.
Bang.
And they get their first round win.
Yeah. A very convincing one at that, only losing one player. Definitely sorely needed, and still a chance at bringing this back and making it a 3-3 half. Just have to keep digging deep on these defenses. As we've said, you know, defense is where you expect to have a little bit more success based on the history of these teams playing border. But yeah, I don't think CS will be discouraged. Now they just have to adapt, right? If this is going to be an aggressive, we're running out at you, we're jumping out east stairs and running out break room for OUTLAST, if that's the pace they want to set, then CS just have to be ready for that. And it could flip again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can see there the use of line, although that's instantly swapped out to the Flores, so probably expecting castles, maybe?
Yeah, I noticed that Killerman only used one of his Roteros last time he played Flores, but that's fine. He was busy trying to shoot everybody.
He successfully got the ace, so
yeah,
I think he gets the pass. But yeah, as we've sort of been talking about with border, since it's such a small map, if it can be quite hard to come up with setups that you can really rely on. So it is more about taking early gunfights on defense. We're back to this workshop setup where they look to be using the mirror around 90. No use of the castle though this time, so definitely exposed from east stairs, so maybe a bit more emphasis on holding east and office. I'm
a little surprised not to see the castle. Thought it was pretty solid at actually making those positions fortified, but yeah. Not a big fan. We got the pulse in though. This is something a little bit different. I wonder if the IQ is going to spot him though. He's currently in passport. I think just out of range. I think the IQ might spot him any second now. Yeah, there you go. So now Killerman knows about it. He's actually going to try and find the angle through the floor. That is so fucking funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
As they deleted, bro.
That's really awesome. Yeah, Relay's just caught out there with his pants down. Perfect use of the IQ. I mean, you could not, like, his job's done. That was his whole job throughout the whole round, so.
I don't think they even knew that there was a pulse until he just happens to see him walking up, and Relays just goes and, like, gifts them a free kill by staying next to a drone hole.
It's not very often you get to see those kind of picks, but Circular Spheres now with the advantage. Neptune's taking a really aggressive angle here towards security. Looks like he's about to enter. I think those shots firing off by Yentai might be the cue to go, but he will hit the shot onto Japer as well, and Bailey will find Nep. So really good aggression there. Playing really nice crossfires here. Physics will take a few bullets of damage.
I think that was just the
Barb.
Meanwhile, he's struggling to actually breach open this wall because there's no Thatcher and they haven't cleared off this mute jammer. Eventually, an A comes through and does so, and Physics will get the kill as Bailey was baited out a little bit. Good reaction time there for Physics, and he brings it back. Even numbers now.
And more than half of the round gone. There's still a lot of work to do here on the attack. They need to take this top floor control and start flushing out the players in Workshop. Although it looks like OUTLAST have put much more emphasis on continuing to hold above. Yentai is still holding this fountain position. And with these two positions above, although it looks like Ned has now fallen off down to site, and Yentai will do the same very shortly.
Yeah, that's fully forfeiting the top floor.
Yeah, probably just understanding that they don't have a lot of vertical vertical presence once the buck is dead. So probably the right decision. Obviously, Physics still has a few breach charges in pocket, so we'll be able to find some basic angles onto Workshop.
So this C4s, though, both of them were being ripped there for a second. Both of them have actually just been blown. And didn't find anything. That was a bit of a missed opportunity there. I'm not sure whether there was information, even audio cues there for the OUTLAST players going for those nitros. This is a big chance, though. Ned does go down. Meanwhile, Yentai is still extended and dangerous in his position. However, ACOG's got it down. Good trade. All up to Yentai now. Well, I don't know why he's got the pistol out. He's found one. And with Killerman on the ground, it's actually a 1 versus 1. Bringing out the DMR. There's information! And Yentai clutches it. The circular spheres have been stopped. And OUTLAST have found a second defense.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was going to be a CS round. In the end, it looked like they got the kill onto Ned in sight. And then basically all event was open. So pretty interesting way to end the round. It looked like Circular Spheres probably not quite coordinated enough on that push. Having two people dropping into Workshop instead of covering the vent plant. So OUTLAST will find their second, and I think it's a very important round for them.
Oh yes, it's been a pretty decent way back into it for OUTLAST, right? I mean, after losing the first 3 rounds, they've now found 2. Tactical timeout worked. Still don't really know why Yentai had the pistol out there, but yeah, DMR to finish off the job.
It's about what you come to expect in ANZ in the
Was
last
he like
20
trying
seconds.
to sprint or something? Or?
Yeah, I think it was sprinting, and then with the ACOG, it was probably a bit of a tough fight up close. He realized that he was probably going to fight somebody up close. But in saying
well
that,
played.
I'm not sure why Circular Spheres were even anywhere near bathroom, considering their teammate was planting in vent.
Yeah, that's actually weird now I think about it. Like, player jumps in vent. You've got 3v2, right?
Yep.
One player jumps in vent, one player drops the Workshop hatch, and another player drops the teller's hatch?
Yeah, or even
Or the bathroom hatch?
I think both might have dropped. Yeah, I'm not sure. There was
I
one
don't know,
deep in
man.
bathroom already. Yeah, it was all over the
Maybe
place.
he came from teller's, I don't bloody know. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
You'd think that you would have, one guy out front door, one guy supporting vents. Oh well, The round is done. CS are probably kicking themselves a little bit, but even like a 4th round here on attack would certainly change the conversation a little bit and say, okay, well, attacker-sided, that's solid for Circular Spheres considering we expect the defense out of this. So I do feel like a decent amount hinges on this round. And we could still see a Circular Spheres sided series. Like, there's a chance that Jake gets his wish and this is a quick 2-0, but I do think that CS kind of needs to win this round for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about these maps being attacker-sided, but they're only attacker-sided if you know how to do it,
Yeah.
to be honest. Even good teams will struggle with attacks on attacker-sided maps. It's all about doing the right things in the right order. We saw this angle yesterday from Killerman, and I think he ended up getting the kill, so Bailey just firing off a few shots. Going to give it up, but we'll get more aggressive again.
Yeah.
A little bit of damage.
Does need to be careful about dying to east stairs here because the hole open and that nade almost flushes him out. He's taken a bunch of damage, and that does make him a little bit more vulnerable on these fights. Now Neptune here. Okay, wait. There's 2 big kills elsewhere, and I think we may see a bit of a collapse here of OUTLAST. Even though Realize has found one, the Ash of Neptune, I think, almost breached the... Oh, there's no mirror. I just realized there's no bloody mirror window. So there's a hole in triple, at least. And Circular Spheres have a numbers advantage. But they haven't taken a huge amount of ground as an execute goes out. But the Warden here might make this very awkward, looking through that smoke. So close to being able to find a pick.
And yeah, just probably needs to be a little bit more patient here and hold that smoke. Able to reposition now and hold this archives window. And it looks like Circular Spheres are rotating slightly, probably looking to take more office control before they commit to this archives plan. Triple wall and sandwich will get open. Now just this Twitch train will come through, looking for this mute jammer on the radio wall. Killerman will find a double onto Ned. That was a player playing around archives armory. ACOG will fit a really nice shot onto Killerman as well to make this a 3v2. Relay's getting aggressive as well.
Way. I think it's over. I think they just fumbled it. Vinny, how CS let this happen, man? That was, what, a 4 versus 2, and then just pick by pick. OUTLAST brought it on back. Physics with 2 to find. ACOG's been pretty sharp. Relays has had a solid shot in it as well, and he's still full HP, holding his position. Nice swing. Easy does it for OUTLAST. 3 rounds straight. A wry smile on Bailey's face. And they really have redeemed themselves in that defensive half.
Yeah, 3-3 is definitely a win for them, considering they were 3-0 down. 3 in a row is massive for them. And yeah, Circular Sphere is just falling into the trap that OUTLAST actually did once they had man advantage. One of the biggest things I learned from the best IGL I ever played with, Diesel, was in man advantage situations, there's always one idea for the other team, and that's to get aggressive and try to find a kill back. If you reset and you hold your angles and you hold your crossfires, you're going to win the round in the next 30 seconds because that's just the way that it plays out. And you could just see that all of those fights were isolated. Relays really picked his fights well. So credit to them as well. Him and ACOG. ACOG hitting that shot onto Killerman out on the balcony was huge as well. Just able to stop that cutoff through archives. And yeah, I mean, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes this game really is just an FPS. Yeah. It's just about who hits their shots better.
Yeah, and there is a brain element to that, but yeah, it's funny, you know, when you're in like a pro environment or like a scrim or a comp match, as an attacking team, you're always thinking about like, what's my win condition? Like, what do I have? What's the next job that I have to do? That's how so many people think about the game. But if you're in a 4v2 and there's a minute and a half left on the clock, you can just literally sit and do nothing for 20 seconds. And I've seen teams do that. I've seen really good teams in regions get advantages, and they don't try and complete any goals. They don't try and take any new ground. They don't try and use any utility. They literally just sit there and wait.
Yeah, and I think often when we were on Wildcard, that was one of the reasons that we ended up waiting too long sometimes because we were expecting aggression, especially in a region like ANZ, where the default is basically aggression. But it can take a lot of self-control to be able to, you know, get 2 kills and then all of a sudden fall back and just wait. And as a team, you might start moving like a big wave, but sometimes you just need to chill out a bit.
Yeah. A lot of the time, if nothing's going on, defensive sides can be like, what are they doing? Like, and they misread it, they overthink it, and they're like, they must be pushing somewhere else, so I'm going to rotate to position ready for that, and then you catch a player on a rotation.
100%. Yeah,
classic.
One of those things. Also, another lesson I learned from another life experience playing soccer was something called phantom pressure. Something my coach used to drill into me, which was more like, you need to put pressure on early, especially on defenses, I think. If you can be aggressive and sort of put the pressure on early, even when you stop putting on pressure, they're going to be expecting it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we are seeing that pressure this time as CS immediately on their defense are looking very solid. That's a good kill, though, from Relays. He might be able to double down. Repeak is a little dangerous from Japer, but Relays is going aggressive for it. He goes straight up the stairs and he finds another one. From the 3v5, now OUTLAST have flipped it and gotten the numbers advantage back on their side. CS have fumbled this man advantage, and it's a rough look for them.
Yeah, such a large lack of crossfires at the moment coming out from both teams. As soon as they have man advantages, they seem to just sort of hold the positions they're in, but not really adapt and figure out where their teammates are, figure out where they can refrag each other. So even though Circular Spheres once again had man advantage, they give it away. Back down to a 2v3. Relays has really worked his way into this map as well. He started off quite slow. I think it was 1-4. All the way up to 7-5 now. Starting to have an impact on this game. ACOG as well, 5-4. And I like this from OUTLAST. Just starting to group up. It looks like their idea is to take this east stairs position. Relays is going to be relocating to that archives balcony. Just to start putting some pressure on. I think he still has one Brava drone that is active.
I think the priority here needs to be trying to hack that bulletproof camera from Neptune. I think that's what he's going for. Mate, the timing could not be better there on that call, by the way. Hack that bulletproof camera, that's far less information now available to that defensive side.
Yeah, but they opted to not bring any hard breach in this round, so getting access to this archive site could be quite difficult, although this Ying has perfectly positioned.
No.
Nep is just going to come out of it in time. Nep will get the double. It's all on Relays. And he will continue to look for this pick, but Physics will find it. Nep going large.
Wow, that was devastating, man. How did that happen? Oh, Neptune just hidden there in that corner. The Candela goes off. He was flashed for like a brief moment. And yet, Man, I think OUTLAST going to be absolutely kicking themselves.
Yeah, I think the timing just worked out perfectly for him. He was flashed for probably a few seconds and then was just unable to... they were unable to find the kill on him, thrown in that position. He hit some very nice shots, though, to be fair.
Yeah, no, that was a very solid round there from Circular Spheres. Once they were down in that 2v3, yeah, it should not have looked that sketchy, but yeah. Numbers advantage, 5v3, and then they lose 3 picks, and then Neptune just farms the rest of the round.
I think that was a little bit of a side effect of not bringing Hard Breach as well, even though it is a map like Border where it's quite small and you think you can sort of brute force your way into sites with things like Ying. Just bringing that Hard Breach as a failsafe is quite strong. They obviously didn't play mute on the radio wall that round, so if they'd opened up that wall, Neptune wouldn't have had anywhere to play in the site. But it looks like they've adapted now. ACOG jumping on the ace.
Yeah, much needed. One thing I don't mind here on this defensive side is the Frost pick. We saw a couple of those mats in very cheeky positions, you know, on the side of a deployable shield next to a rotate hole. Not only does that give Saved the ACOG, of course, which we know that he loves, but against OUTLAST, when you've just fumbled around like that, when they're maybe getting in their own heads a little bit, these trap operators like the Cap Cannon Frost, they have a massive impact.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Frost is just a generally good pick. She brings a shotgun secondary, brings the shield, she brings the cog. Her gun does quite a bit of damage as well, so never a bad pick to bring. And if you're lucky, you might end up getting a Frost kill. Although quite rare at the moment. I think it's almost muscle memory for every single person that plays this game now to look directly at their feet when they jump through a window.
Yeah. That said, if it comes down to like the last minute and you're vaulting through like the bathroom rotate, wouldn't be surprised if you missed that. There's a good kill though from Saved. Somehow he does not take a lick of damage in that gunfire. I don't know how he managed to dodge and weave those bullets. We got Budget Neo over here on the Frost. Meanwhile, another pick has come out, so really rough start for OUTLAST. Again, fighting from a 3v5, just 1 minute into the round.
Yeah, Japer in that security box position yesterday was really effective against GG. Obviously, he was using the Boss G on Vigil to great effect, but it looks like he's taken up the Oryx this round and still able to have an impact on these rounds. Not with much utility either. He sits up there basically with no reinforcements and the hatch open, just looking to fall off after getting a kill or shooting a few drones. But continues to have impact. We currently have 4 members of Circular Spheres up here, not wanting to give away this map control anytime soon.
And like you said, the Oryx pick does enable Japer to get aggressive and then go back down again. Saved wide swinging the rafters from Break. A bit of a mistake there. ACOG finds him. And it's a classic, like, OUTLAST aren't actually doing very much. They're just holding positions. And Circular Spheres now thinking, oh, I could do this, I could move here. That is costing them. So Saved has just given away his life for that reason. Meanwhile, Bailey's actually snuck into the bomb site.
And the Deimos now being used on Solar, so they're aware of his position going into Workshop.
Is there a plant chance here?
They're just quite far away at the moment, these attackers. They need to start getting a move on. Figure out where they want to be executing here. ACOG has the kit in waiting room, so looks like he's going to be looking for a jump in. Ned will find the kill into Killer Man in Workshop. That will be big.
Yeah, ACOG has now finally rotated over, but a little bit of a swap with him and Bailey. Now they're standing on top of each other. The cover has to come through here. Bailey's taken out. The plant is stuck, however, by ACOG, and a C4 over the top does not land until the plant's already gone down. A 1v2 now. In the post plant, Ned is very capable of this. A nade to go over, but the pin is hurt as he pulls it. Now all that Japer has to do is hold on to this kit while Physics distracts, and yeah, Ned has just absolutely fumbled this post plant. Doesn't matter if he gets the kill. It's an easy denial of that diffuser there from Japer. And a solid round there from Circular Spheres.
Yeah, really solid round. Japer was never cleared out of security, so he was able to retake that rafters position and kill Bailey inside of Tellers. And I think that really shaped that post plant because I think if Bailey had survived a little bit longer, they would have been able to set up a few crossfires. That C4 over the top as well to kill ACOG after planting the diffuser was very strong. And honestly, I think the Frost came in clutch at the end there, even though we didn't get to see it on screen. Ned unable to jump in, because if he jumped in and looked down at the Frost mat, he would have been instantly taken out by the bathroom player.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So 5-3 up for Circular Spheres. really starting to run away with this game. OUTLAST need to come up with an answer, or we might be going to map 2 very shortly.
Yeah. We already knew that defense was going to be favored on this map. Circular Spheres are just finally flipping onto that second side and having a little bit more luck than we saw from OUTLAST. Yeah, it comes down so often to just losing numbers advantages. Like, I'm going to look back in the opening kills, right? And yeah, we've had, I mean, to be fair to Circular Spheres, they actually have won most of the opening engagements in this game, but 4 of those rounds, oh, no, sorry, 3 of those rounds, so that's wrong. 3 of those rounds have actually not led to round wins. The team that's lost the opening pick has actually won the round.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something we've seen a fair bit throughout the stage, to be honest. And not just from this team, from most teams. I think with a lot of young teams in the region at the moment, being able to convert from man advantage is actually a skill that you practice quite a lot in scrims and things like that. And without practice, you might not quite understand the win conditions and why man advantage can be so important. And with this vent workshop hold at the moment, it looks like Circular Sphere is looking to hold this armory area, but Ned will find a really nice shot onto Physics. Physics probably overpeaking a little bit without the pressure coming through. Japer retreating off the security area, looking to retake into armory. This control is very important. The attackers are able to take armory, they're able to get vertical onto workshop. And with that comes a lot of pressure onto the site.
The Grimm's Bees has flushed out this position of Japer. It's quite a contrast to yesterday. He was so good at holding onto that position when he was on the Vigil. Now on the Oryx, he's just deciding to fall back, not over contests. And Ned has made his way into security. A lot of OUTLAST is actually very passive, very much fallen back, as the defense of Circular Spheres is not trying to over-contest here. They're not actually trying to re-aggress, which is surprising to me. Like we've said, the pattern is you lose a player and they double down on that aggression.
Yeah, it looks like OUTLAST still struggling a little bit to take map control. They have managed to take armory and security, so with this positioning, they should be able to sort of start working a plant towards vent, but Japer has been able to retake this position in break room. And it doesn't look like Ned's aware of this position, so flank utility not being used correctly at the moment. Japer's going to look to find this flank early, but there's just no one to fight. Everyone's
yeah, everyone's just dead.
Everyone's dead.
It's just constant. There we go, Killer Man. Relays is dead, and I don't even know what to say. Circular Spheres have really run away with this game in the second half. It was 3 rounds in a row for Circular Spheres to kick this game off, and then 3 rounds in a row for OUTLAST, and now another 3 rounds for Circular Spheres. Do we see that pattern continue? Is now OUTLAST's turn to push OT, or is it just done here? CS.
Yeah, look. As much as I want to see OUTLAST continue to play throughout this game, I think this might be all done and dusted. Circular Spheres have looked really strong on their defenses. Even just there, it looked like OUTLAST with the man advantage might have been able to make something work, but even once they had that map control, it looked like they didn't quite understand where they wanted to be executing. Sometimes the best plans are the simplest plans, and I think just working towards that vent execute would have been perfect. They didn't bring much in terms of soft breach, so able to get vertical would have been a bit of a challenge, but again, as a 5-man, executing as a 5-man on a bad plan is better than sort of singling yourself out around the map and getting picked off, and especially against a team like Circular Spheres who really thrive on punishing, punishing chaos and punishing sort of loose attacks.
I think that we're going to see loose defense here from Circular Spheres. I mean, we've got Doc, Vigil, Legion, Valkyrie. Like, these are all really, really good fraggers that you expect to be roaming around. The Doc likely to be contesting unfavored angles, and because it's saved and because he's got the P90 with... Does the P90 have an ACOG these days on Doc? I think it still does.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to be swinging people. There you
definitely.
Go. This is, like, disgusting. Probably the closest you can get to having the Vector when Goyo's banned with the ACOG on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think hopefully Circular Spheres also don't fall into the trap of saying, okay, we've got 6 rounds, let's go throw it all away. We're safe, we've got OT at least, but Ned on the Deimos, taking some pretty early map control and opting for the shotgun. He's just seeing the foot of the player, but isn't able to react. A few pot shots off and Killaman will finish him.
That's so unfortunate. There is a trade though, at least. ACOG finds one back, but a little bit embarrassing there for Ned to go down like that. I will say, if you're going to kill anybody in the server for Outlast, Killaman's probably a good bet.
Yeah, for today especially, it's usually saved, but Killaman has been on fire today. When it matters least, he comes alive.
When it matters the least, he steps up for his team.
So Saved was initially downed, I think, by Relays, but then docked himself up. Relays will find nothing. In fact, Nep will kill him on his entry into Archives. And once again, Outlast really struggling to find any map control. Circular Spheres just contesting them at every entry point. And these attacks are just too solo at the moment. Bailey will find one back onto Nep in that Archives area.
That's technically numbers back in their favor as I say that. Never mind. Save gets a kill. He's going to stim himself back. It's all up to ACOG in a 1v3 to try and keep Outlast here alive on border. But he's finding quite a troublesome position as he jumps straight on through and dies. Attempting to board the site, it does not work. That helicopter is not for sale today, my friend. Circular Spheres, a very solid win for them. 3 rounds in a row, 3 rounds lost, and then 4 rounds in a row to close off border. 1 map away, Vinny. Just 1 map away from being the 3rd place team in OCE.
They're going to the major. Nah.
Yeah, good joke.
Yeah, just a good job from the boys, able to get the work done. And yeah, I think definitely this could be looking like a 2-0 series.
Yeah, very much so, but that was just CS's map pick, and I'm sure that Jake's Nox Venditti has plenty of insight for you, so we'll go back to him on the desk.
I was actually eating my Parma, James, so I don't really have a whole lot of insight. To apologise. Maybe, Rob, do you have anything you want to say?
All I can say is chips to the chips. Up the chips.
Up the chips.
Up the chips.
I was eating some chips.
Yeah, look, sometimes we love to have a cheeky little midday feed. It's
Also,
not really midday, it's
just
6 o'clock.
Just to clarify as well, this is very serious right now. Rob.
Oh, Jake.
Parma.
Palmer.
Guz?
Parma.
Yeah, sorry. If you say anything else at home,
I don't want to hear any nonsense about Palmies.
Fundamentally wrong. So for those, international viewers, that's an inside joke from Australia. Yes, Australia is real.
Joke.
We're not paid actors. Well, yeah, okay, it's not a joke. It's actually an inside. It's a domestic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a full-on domestic. Yeah. I think is it New South Wales that calls it the Palmy?
They
so
do.
just
Which makes sense.
at home, all right. You have a chicken parma. You know what a chicken parmigiana is, right? You know the parmigiana.
Parmigiana.
If you are an American, right, and you have 2 choices, are you saying palmy?
That's Parmigiana.
No, parma. You're parma. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna have a parma.
Parmigiana.
A parma. But a pot of Coke, of course. You know, it's just to make sure. I don't want anyone confused out there. It's a parma. At the end of the day, CS, they do what they do best. Their attack, Michael, wasn't actually as fruitful as I thought it was going to be. We saw the first 3 rounds just spiral out of control, and then Outlast, they bounced back.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mirror image, right? First 3 rounds going the way of the attacks. The CS coming out of the gates really strong, and then Outlast showed that ability to then come back on the following 3 rounds. And that was even off the back of rounds 5 and 6, where Killman and Save respectively found the opening kill, and CS didn't actually go on to convert. And I suppose following on from that storyline for Killman specifically, he walks away as the top-rated player on that first map, and actually had great success on entry. It feels like we're beating a dead horse at this point in terms of Killman in the entry storyline, but it's just been so below the peak that we know the man can reach.
Yep.
How much of that has been Save taking the spotlight? I think there's an element of that, but individually he has performed below expectation. But today, +3 entry. So if they can continue and translate this onto the second map of Consulate, slightly different map dynamic, of course, but I think they are pretty well suited at the moment to win this in a 2-0 fashion.
Saved had the quietest game I think I've ever seen him. 5 and 7, 2-1 on entry.
He's a big game player, though.
Yeah,
he
only turns up when they need him.
He does 3rd place match. It's like, whatever. But big games, semi-finals, quarterfinals, you know what you're going to get from Saved.
You and Saved, just
it's a bit like
2 peas in a pod,
It's
mate.
a bit like his casting.
It's two peas in a pod.
That is actually very true,
It
Michael.
doesn't.
That
If
is
you've
very
heard
true.
this, if you've heard this bloke cast anything that's not the game,
If it wasn't for Jay Kenner and Chef Jeff yesterday, I would have lost my mind. But they salvaged it on the entertainment factor alone.
well, the production is begging me to throw to a break, but we're not
Go
going to
on,
let them.
go
No,
on,
we're
just-
not going to let them.
No.
I
The
just
hold
wanna know-
hostage.
Yeah, we're going
Is this
to
the
hold
Rob,
them hostage.
the Rob, Jake, and Gus show?
That sounds good. How about the Rob and Go show?
I'm getting told to throw now. Why am I getting told to
Don't
throw?
you don't you dare! You listen to me. Look at me. Look at me. You're not throwing. We're going to keep this show going.
I'm getting bribed. I'm getting bribed.
Hang on a second. No, that doesn't happen here. The audience is on my side, but unfortunately, if I don't throw to a break, Blast might come after me, and we don't want that. We'll go to a break. We'll be back after this.
I still love you. I still love you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the most league in Rainbow Six Siege. We're here for the Oceanic third place deciding match, and Vinny, the stakes could not be midder. It's Circular Spheres versus Outlast Gaming, map number 2 of Consulate.
Yes, we've got the middest teams. As much as I don't want to say it, they are the mid-table teams, and they are
Technically upper mid.
upper mid. They are the best of the mid-table teams. Circular Spheres banning out the Monty first. It's something we've seen from them almost every game this stage, I believe.
Finker. Oh, hey! This is so great. Anyone playing against Circular Spheres, you just know it's Finker Goya.
It is Finky Goyo, so it makes the vetoes or the bans easier for Circular Spheres, in fact, because they know that they're going to have every attacking option that they need, and basically every defensive option, because Goyo and Finker are not super util heavy operators. Obviously, Goyo is quite good at denying late round with his fire canisters, but seemed to work in map 1. Saved had probably the quietest map we've seen from him all stage. I think he went 4 and 7 in the end or something along those lines. Ended up being 5 and 7.
Wow.
Still positive on the entry and a 70% cost, so...
Is the least kills in the game, aside from Ned, who got 4 kills. So second least kills in the game.
The plan did work.
In theory.
In theory.
Though Killerman decided to finally start playing the game properly again, so that doesn't help when you get an ace in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of what we expected from Circular Spheres from the start of the stage. We knew they had the guns to really make an impact on these rounds. Unfortunately, Killerman, one of those guys that hasn't quite been able to step up this stage, but still a talented player in his own right.
Yeah, Killerman and Saved have been like top 10 players, top 10 like rookies in the last year. Jape has always been a good fragger. Neptune, didn't you team with Neptune at one point?
I did. He was on Kelton's Knights for a little while.
Oh,
and
I forgot about that, man.
He was a good teammate. He understood the game fairly well for somebody that doesn't have a whole lot of comp experience, and obviously has the gun skill to back it up.
Yeah, on paper this is a very mechanical, talented lineup, right? This CS roster. And you know what I just realized as well, Vin, is OUTLAST have not won a single attack in this series so far. And now they start on attack, right? Because first half they won 3 defenses, that was cool. And then second half they didn't win a single round on border on the attack. And now they're on an even more defender-sided map and they attack firsts. They are not in a good not in a good way. I don't know how else to put it kindly. They are not in a good way.
Not in a good way, yeah. The Consulate of Nu does not play very much like the Consulate of Old, one of my favorite maps to play back in the day. Was a fairly attacker-sided map. It took a lot of genius setups on defense to sort of get any sort of advantage. With so many windows and so many ways to enter the building, it made it really difficult to contest. But in saying that, Killerman has been down, but Nep will find the kill onto Ned before that down gets confirmed, and Killerman will be resurrected or revived.
Resurrected.
Yeah, I went to...
That would be sick, though. Like, imagine you could resurrect someone in this game. I think there's a new operator idea. It's like, not a doc, but like a necromancer.
I mean, at that stage, I think it's all over.
Is that the line for realism in this game? We've got Jackal who can see people's footprints, and we've got robots that you can teleport your consciousness between. But no, I think the line is necromancy. At the moment, we're going to need a necromancer to give OUTLAST any chance of getting into this, because I think it's another flawless round here for Circular Spheres. Jape is just hungry for it. Oh, Bailey on the exit frag. How many exits can he find? What a gamer.
He's going to need a few more to start getting those stats back to anywhere near positive. Was by far the lowest KD player in the region. I think that included Odium, but it is sort of...
Was he actually?
I think it sort of is compounded. He played a lot more maps than, say, like Odium or Supernova.
That is rough, man.
I think he was almost -40 coming into today.
Jesus.
Yeah, just down there.
Where is he?
Right there. -39 coming into today. God. But he has got 2. So that he is building it slowly back up. And he's going to have a fight here onto Physics. I don't see him winning it out into the shotgun. And he won't. Physics able to close out the round. Well played by Circular Spheres, just not giving OUTLAST any room to breathe.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the way that this game continues to play out.
Look at that. Like, there's no one watching that swing from Saved. He gets 2 kills roaming around admin side. Yeah, not a lot of inspiration on that attack, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, and a bit of what we saw from Border, just very loose sort of attacks, not really playing with each other and refragging. Just looking to find picks around the map before they commit to anything, but against a team like Circular Spheres, who are so good at punishing these 50-50 gunfires, especially someone like Saved, and if they let him get going, this could be a very quick map.
Yeah, especially when you got ops like Valkyrie up on the board. Like, not only is MPX is a bit of a headshot machine. I know it's very low damage, but a lot of people really love that MPX for fragging. Valk's a great roamer. You've got those cameras. Your teammates are calling. There's one here. And Save's got the game sense and the mechanics to get around it on that roam. And peak unfavored fights and win them.
Yeah, and it does force the other team to bring, or the attacking side to bring IQ, who in the past basically only had one role. She's obviously a little bit stronger now with the nades, having been introduced to her kit. So she does have a bit more flexibility in her ability. To impact rounds.
Damn, I like that.
Thank you.
IQ is a little bit of a, like, the one trick. Your one job is to try and counter Valkyrie. It's the entire reason you bring that operator most of the time. And even then, it's not a guarantee. It can be kind of hard.
No, there's a lot of, especially on a map like Consulate that's so large, it can be quite hard to scan the whole map. It doesn't look like any of those Valcams have been spotted yet. Yentai will get this wall open, this external garage wall, and it looks like we might be seeing something quite quick. Yentai's already in the building, planting in the smokes. 4 smoke grenades have gone down.
gosh.
Bailey has entered on the blitz and able to get a double. And the site's clear.
Yeah, and the plan is down, the side is clear, the blitz is in, running amok. And Ned has been able to cover as well with that smoke coverage. The Glaz has been able to peer through it and guarantee the round effectively. I mean, there's no way back into it here. For the first time, we're seeing an inspired attack, Vinny, by OUTLAST. They've been slow and not very steady for most of this series, but their first attack round in this series seems to finally come begging, unless if Saved can do something utterly ridiculous, which I'm calling it now, he's not going to do. They know exactly where he is. The Blitz is hunting him down. The Glaz gets around it with the bearing. And OUTLAST are finally on the board on their map pick.
Yeah, the first time we've seen a shield play as well in this whole series so far from both teams. Obviously, that last map was fairly defender-sided. And in recent history, the attacking win rate of a lot of teams has sort of slowly gone up as they've become more accustomed to playing with those shields. And that is the first time we've seen it. But yeah, a much more pointed attack from OUTLAST, and I think that's by far the best attack they've done all series so far. It's their first attacking win.
Yeah.
So definitely. And something they need to sort of replicate a bit more. Just having a main idea, just having a goal in mind. I think direct hits, generally for teams that don't attack as well, are better because you're committed to an attack from the get-go.
Even if it's a bad plan, you're doing it together, right?
Doing it together. There was 4 or 5 players there ready to refrag each other with guns up. 4 smoke canisters going down. And no Warden on the board, so a pretty good read from them.
Well, Saved is now switched onto that operator. We don't have like a smoke, the operator, on defense. And obviously Goyo's banned, so those are the main ops that are good at like preventing those kinds of rushes. But the Warden will certainly help as well. But Warden himself is not the greatest counter to a blitz. It's more just to the smoke-based plants and the Glaz, which, by the way, isn't brought this time.
Killerman looking for a very aggressive spawn peek. Out of the CEO window with the Boss G. Definitely the strongest weapon you can bring on these spawn peaks. One shot will down anybody outside. And Saved has taken up this position in lower yellow stairs. Looking to take any aggression that comes early.
No!
Killerman's almost caught, rotating back to site.
How do you miss that?
And all of this upstairs control is already forfeited. A different attack here from OUTLAST, looking to clear top down, using this blitz more as a roam clear operator. Neptune still trying to hold around the CEO area, but he has been spotted out by the Deimos. And he's going to need a drop. Too much pressure on him at the moment.
Wow. Good C4 though from Physics. The entire taken down. That's the Ram, your main vertical operator in the lineup. You don't have much ability now to open up that floor once they do take control of the ground floor. The Blitz comes in and should be able to confirm that kill. So at least we do have a reply. But the lack of utility lost is going to be punishing. Relays has found Physics, and okay, finally we see OUTLAST get a proper advantage. Deimos can continue tracking, and with plenty of time, OUTLAST should be able to form up a very solid attack.
And Physics wasn't happy with that, so he left. And yeah, I mean, much better from OUTLAST in terms of the way they've tried to roam clear with this blitz. Ned will be taken down, looking to get some pressure onto the site, but with no vertical, it's pretty easy for the defenders to peek up through that hatch. Saved will finish off the kill onto Ned. Leaves Bailey, Relays, and ACOG in this 3v3. And Bailey able to chase down this mirror, but...
He's surely can't win this. He goes and tries to take the fight with 2 players at once. Saved is taking a bit of damage. Eventually, Japer's C4 comes over. Saved somehow wins his fight as well, even though he was shot, and Killerman peeks up through the hatch. That should never have been lost there by Outlast, but CS, fire up. A bit of a funny round there for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, they had the initial idea with the roam clear, able to take a lot of that top floor control, almost found this pick on Killerman, which would have been huge in the end, because Killerman was one of those players left in the 3v3. Bailey able to defeat his direct counter in Legion, but this use of C4s, I think there was 3 C4 kills on the round. After Valkyrie had been moved on for the Warden, so not a whole lot of info upstairs, but able to use those C4s to great effect. And yeah, Outlast just, once they had that control, didn't really seem to know where they wanted to.
I feel like Bailey overextended a bit on that blitz.
Yeah, a little bit. The time was starting to dwindle. His teammates weren't really around him. And that is the best way to counter blitz, is to have man advantage on him. Obviously, he can't take out 2 people at once. He can't really flash 2 people at once, especially if they're holding a crossfire. So Outlast will need to continue to work on these attacks. I think a 4-2 for them would be considered a win.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering they struggled so much on map 1, especially on that attacking side. But the only attack they've won, not just in this map, but in this series, has been the Glaz execute. And it's kind of a one-and-done pocket strat. I don't think you're going to be able to do those kinds of rushes over and over again.
Yeah, especially with Saved moving on to the Warden. I think if we see that bottom floor site again, we'll probably see him back on that operator. It's much easier for them to deal with this top down, because it looks like Outlast don't quite have it under wraps, than to deal with that direct push.
Got a bunch of hyenas in the studio. I don't know what I keep hearing. What are they doing?
It's just the Jake, Rob, and Guz show over there.
Yeah, of course. They need to get a camera on those guys. Probably more entertaining than watching this tech pause. Yes, we're going through a rehost right now, guys.
One thing I did notice during that round is it looks like Bailey has his camera mounted on, I have no idea what it is, but if he moves his mouse at all, it looks like he's in an earthquake. So just something to watch out for, guys, while we're in this game.
It must be connected to his, he must have a very wobbly desk.
Yeah. I saw him do a little flick onto net when he was playing Blitz, and it looked like his whole camera was going through an earthquake. So if you need something interesting to look at while we're looking at Bailey,
don't look at his gunplay.
Don't look at his
camera.
gameplay. Look at his camera.
Yeah, there you go. It's getting a bit shaky. We're back into it. Who was it that was it Yentai is playing on his mobile network or something?
Yeah, I think his internet's out. So he's been playing on
4G.
on a data plan. Had to go purchase it for this game. And from experience, it's not a fun experience. I will say that.
Yeah, people really don't like playing on Wi-Fi, right? Usually I feel like your ping goes up by about 40 ping every time you go on Wi-Fi as well.
Yeah, it's not a great experience. Obviously, I've experienced the absolute worst of what ping can be.
The Apex out
in terms of a competitive experience. But it made me a stronger man, I will say that.
Yeah, how did Apex South work out for you?
Not great. Not great at all.
You got a bit unlucky, man. With just the timing of your career, I think, got a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. I peaked at possibly the worst time in Siege's history.
I mean, your big opportunity was at the exact moment that COVID happened,
Yeah.
and we had the split systems as well. Oh, come on.
Saved.
Bro, what? Did he just shoot both of those shots into that metal beam?
Yeah.
Somehow Yentai did not take any damage. Was it a whiff?
Saved only has the ability to shoot heads, so I don't think this Boss G is really equipped for someone of his skill.
It's Killerman on the Boss G, is it not?
Oh, it was Killerman.
Yeah.
My apologies. It's someone that is usually quite good on the Boss G.
Yeah, that was weird.
Just decided to not shoot the line.
You are right about safe, though. I don't think I've ever seen that man get a kill that's not a headshot.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him use a shotgun either, or a DMR.
It's just, yeah, with Rainbow Six, obviously, the one-shot headshot mechanic can be a good thing. I think throughout history, though, the best fraggers that have sort of topped the charts have had a good balance of headshots and body shots saved. He hit a really nice shot. Killerman did eventually get that kill with the Boss G.
Took him a while. 5v3 now, as, I mean, this is just desperate. Look at the way Realize has just walked through the entire map. He almost gets a chance to get Killerman. The thing is, I'm pretty sure that Neptune's watching, and yeah, he's a dead man now in a three-way crossfire. Easy kill. See you later, Alligator. Yentai versus the world. The man that should have been spawn peeked 2 minutes ago is the last one left alive. and they're just going to toy with him. They're all running outside. They're jumping out. He is saved. There's a player above him too, the Boss G. Yentai does get 1 kill, but now they know exactly where he is. The 2 players watching his window jump in. Save has actually gone back inside, so I guess Circular Sphere's trying to temper
He's
the...
coming.
Oh, he back out again.
He's coming.
He's just toying with him. Oh, there he is. Finally goes down. Yentai can try and pad the stats a little bit. C4 a little bit wide. He's not winning this.
Nah, it looks like he's going to take a bit of a tactical timeout. Probably needed from OUTLAST as well. Looks like their game plan at the moment seems to be Relays sort of just trying to take map control and walk into site by himself while the team looks elsewhere. And I think he actually got in undetected, so I think he probably could have made a play, but his teammates started falling around him, and that sort of led Circular Spheres to start looking around the site. Yeah. Entire in the 1v3, 20 seconds left.
I mean, let's just... He's dead. So let's just acknowledge that he's dead and talk about what can OUTLAST do to get back into this. Because, yeah, they only need 2 rounds of attack realistically here, as you said. But in the first map, after going 0-3 down, they took a tactical timeout, and then they won 3 rounds in a row, right? Surely the tactical needs to come through here.
Yeah, I mean, they got a nice probably minute and a half break there with Yentire being last alive, so they probably had a fair bit to talk about. Yeah, I like the blitz coming back out from Bailey. I think that's where they've had the most success so far.
Bro, that's unbelievable that neither of those shots landed.
And yeah, I think they just need to be a bit more pointed with this blitz. Take a leaf out of Prodigy's book, maybe even just 3 men behind it and just try to take map control as a team. This sort of solo stuff they're doing at the moment doesn't seem to be working. We've said it throughout the whole series. Circular Spheres are so good at punishing these loose attacks.
Yeah.
We saw it yesterday against GG, in particular, a team that we expect to have very pointed, very directed attacks. Just not able to really fulfill that, and Circular Spheres did punish them. We saw both maps get relatively competitive. And definitely asked a lot of questions from GG. I think after yesterday, the decision about who's going to win today, or the prediction about who's going to win today, became a lot more 50-50 than it was
Yeah, definitely.
before yesterday's semi-finals.
Well, Chiefs just looked really good in their semi-final. GG looked pretty average. I don't know how much to say. We got to hit one of the GG timeouts. I won't talk too much about it, but it didn't sound like everything was sunshine and rainbows in the GG camp.
No. And sounded like there was a lot of anxiety and pressure about it. This blitz will take this entry once again, but Save will hit the shot. Yentire will refrag eventually, but
Bro!
Saved.
That is so funny.
I don't know. He's unkillable. He's unkillable.
Bang, 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 bang. Blind shot. There you go.
And the kit has been dropped in garage. No attacker there to reclaim it as of yet. Yentire eventually will hack these cameras.
I tell you what, Bailey is tilted after that one though. Like, he doesn't even respond in the all chat. He's probably muted the all chat after CS have been just wagging it in their faces this whole game.
Yeah, and I mean, probably just to put an asterisk next to yesterday's performances from GG and Chiefs. It looks like Circular Spheres are the better team at the moment.
Yeah. So you'd expect the GG match to be close.
To be closer, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think historically, OUTLAST have really struggled, specifically against Chiefs.
Very true.
But especially against these top teams, just unable to really get most of these attacks to work, and then on their defenses, really punished by directed attacks.
What's this Candela cooking for?
Looks like we're going to try get an execute onto CEO before they start pushing into piano. This vert control is really important. Relays posted up here on this, what used to be connector window. I'm not sure what it's called now.
Yeah, he's got the Grimbees ready, and that's going to spot out Neptune on that lesion. He's just waiting. I hear our observers in the production room saying, come on, bro. Yeah, we're waiting for the same thing. The 3-2-1, and the hit. Ned goes in. Taking the angle, 2 players in that top floor. A C4 could potentially be tossed on up, and Japer does find Ned. However, advantage to OUTLAST as they found both players on that top floor. All up to Killerman on this flank, and Japer on the side to try and find something, but this Dokkaebi call forces him back down again. 30 seconds still to play. OUTLAST have to make a quick decision about how they're going to exit here, and it looks like 1 kill going out. Japer having a clutch up 1v3. There is a good angle, though, held by Relays, and OUTLAST get their second round of attack and perhaps put themselves in the conversation for extending Consulate.
Yeah, we said before, I think 4-2 for the half would be a win for them, especially considering how they started. Able to pull back 2 of these attacks. I think that was a really good execute onto that CEO side, using the Grim Bees and the Yin Candelas to flush out CEO and that meeting area. And then once they had that top floor control, it looked like Circular Spheres panicked a little bit and looked to retake it straight away. Probably not the right idea. Obviously, there was about 45 seconds left. And executing on piano still takes a bit of time, especially considering they didn't have any soft breach utility up. But OUTLAST able to convert. Still a chance in this round. If they win this round, they're absolutely every chance to take this map.
Yeah, 3-3 would be big.
Definitely will be asking a lot of questions of Circular Sphere's attacks.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a lot on the CS attacks on Consulate. Maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, I think it depends on where that momentum sits as well. Because if Circular Spheres, who have controlled like the mental game and the pace in this, if they can have, let's say it's a really convincing round here and OUTLAST are kicking themselves because Saved is swinging them and all that, then yeah, I think Circular Spheres are going to have a good attack because I have a lot of confidence. Bro, the drone is right there. He was pretending not to see it? Is that what he was doing?
I'm not sure.
That was weird.
Does Saved have that one in the tank?
I don't think he ever thinks of that.
Yeah, pretty interesting to see the Solos come out. A much lower pick rate.
It's literally for the gun. I
Yeah.
reckon 80% of the reason why Saved picks any op is for the gun.
Yeah, the P90 seems to be his favorite at the moment after the Vector. But still has some utility usage. Obviously able to see the plant once it's going down.
Or the Blitz.
Or the Blitz.
Or the Knock.
Or the Knock.
Or the Jackal.
Or possibly the Ram, even.
True.
But yeah, Solos has lost her impacts as well, which has nerfed her ability to deny plants from above and below.
Oh.
Relays once again on this Nook, able to take a lot of control onto the Solus of Saved. And Bailey continuing to use this Blitz. Try to take as much map control as possible. Once again, we'll be faced with Neptune on the Legion. The direct counter to Blitz. Once those Goo Mines are in, Bailey will have to find cover to take them out, or he will continue to take damage.
Oh, that was a direct trade by Relays and Killer Man. So that does advantage OUTLAST on the attack here. As Ned looks to try and retake that control. He's got the track onto the Legion. And Bailey's taken a decent amount of damage here. Neptune's being very ambitious, but he needs to not get too close. Otherwise, he will lose that fight, and indeed, that's exactly what happens. Bailey does well here with the Blitz. 2 versus 4 now for Japer and Physics, and it's nigh impossible to win it from here on out.
Yeah, a bit of a misplay there from Neptune. I think if he'd put down more of those Goo Mines towards the door and played a bit safer, he wouldn't have had to give up his life for basically nothing. Wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage to Bailey once that fight had begun. And this gives a lot of space for Bailey now to take down these spiral stairs and start pressuring the back of site. While the rest of his team look to be following up with him, taking this back area rather than the front.
This Jackal's been great, though. It's another track going out. If Japer still had his C4, this would be a great time to use it. He spots 2 players. Physics still has a Nitro Cell. With Bailey low, it does leave the Blitz vulnerable. A couple of shots into the feet here. Could win it here for Japer. He needs to wait for that Blitz to come on through. Doesn't get the flash off, though. Not successfully, and Ned does eventually finish off Japer. Now it's all up to Physics, but he's been hunted down by Yentai. Good angle here from the hatch down towards yellow. 3-3 on the half for OUTLAST. You can't really ask for much more than that.
That round really opened up by Relays on that Nook. Able to take a lot of map control top floor, basically with no drone in front of him, so not much indication for the defense where he was coming from. Able to find the 2K. Onto Saved and Killerman, the 2 top performers for this team this stage. And specifically today as well in this series. Killerman having probably the best series / game he's played all stage.
Yeah, easily.
And we move on to the second half. Both teams 3-3, so definitely a win for Outlast.
Yeah.
They were 3-1 down, able to bring it back to 3-3.
Yeah, it comes down to what Circular Spheres have on these attacks, though. I mean, there's a world where we see this go OT, but you would probably hazard a guess that Outlast have done well here. I'm going to have a look back in the history and see what we've seen from CS before on Consulate. So we saw them, they didn't play it against GG. I actually haven't played this in quite a long time. They played it in the Rivals against Lycus Empire. Do you remember that game, any chance? Also,
I'll say I do.
they beat Ludovica on it, apparently. So that's the Chiefs roster, the old Chiefs roster, 3 out of 5 at least. And they beat the 6 targets roster in Rivals as well. In Stage 1, Circular Spheres 7-0'd the old Antic on it. That's pretty wild. But I guess times have changed. Well, rosters have changed. 3 out of 5 players still remain from the CS of Stage 1. What's going on here with Yentai?
Yentai on the Tachanka has been taken down on what I think was a spawn peak, looking out towards the front door area. So down to 20 HP, but still will be able to have a big effect on these rounds. You can use those Tachanka pellets from basically anywhere and bounce them around the site to get that denial. Looks like Circular Spheres have been able to take a fair bit of map control downstairs. Killerman already posted up in piano, and it looks like there's going to be an angle here for Nep.
Wow, what an angle.
Up through the floor, Ned on the smoke, down to 23 HP already as well, so a lot of damage being done. He did get a fair bit off onto Neptune as well, down to 30.
Funnily enough, the 2 operators that are best at denying these plants in the late round are the ones that have almost lost their lives, the Smoke and the Tachanka. So Outlast are pretty lucky that they haven't actually had the killing blow on either of those players, but if the Buck can get in below, even the Skeleton Key could unlock a death or 2 here for these Outlast players.
Yeah, and all it's going to take is one ping onto one of the players in sight. But in saying that, he just looks at the hole and then forgets about it and takes almost all of his health in reply. Ned, even on 20 HP, able to have a big impact from this vertical. And now it's up to J-Par. He has to play a lot more cautiously now. Any hole he opens up is a 2-way street where he can also be taking a lot of damage from that. It looks like Circular Spheres trying to work this CEO side. Killerman has taken up this position top spiral window.
Yeah, we need a drone in here. I guess the Dokkaebi call kind of acts a little bit like a drone. We need to see some entries from Circular Spheres. They're in the building. Neptune's coming up the spiral stairs, but this barbed wire he's going to have to clear. Oh, and also he's on camera, so that certainly doesn't help.
Yeah, that bar makes it really difficult considering how low he is and the fact that it now does damage. Ned will find the first one to J-Par through the vert once again. J-Par unable to have an impact on this round through this vertical.
He really needed to be the one to unlock this round with that buck on the vert. And now with the Smoke and the Chunker still up, they can just lock out this site, prevent the entries, and Outlast is just finding kill after kill. The Circular Spheres have barely entered the bloody building. Desperate drop now from Physics. He's starting to feel the fire from the Tachanka. Killerman will find Reloads. Double kill for Killerman. If there's any time to embody an Ash main, it would be right now from the 3v5 into the 3v3. Perhaps a desperate chance for CS to look for an execute. The swing now. Spotted by Killerman, he has to cover it, and Saved has found one. I don't know how they've done it, but if that C4 doesn't land, it's shot out of midair. This round is won by Circular Spheres. Bailey shut out. Killerman just got a 4K. Look at these guys fire up. They can't believe they've just thieved the round.
That reaction from Neptune says it all. I mean, he was hyped. This is a third place match, but there is still a lot in this. They do not want to lose to Outlast. They want to be the kings of the mid-table. That does come with a bit of pride. And yeah, I mean, what a round from Killerman, able to open it up. Something we haven't seen from him this stage at all. But now, when it finally doesn't matter, he has come alive.
Yeah, that was a 4K from Killerman, right? On map 1, he had a ace and
Ace in
a
the first
3K.
round.
Yeah. Wild stuff, really wild stuff. I don't think I've seen this guy play this well since he joined Circular Spheres, I'm going to say it. He's got, what, 17 kills in this game so far? He is dying a lot, to be fair, so he's only +5. I guess after that round, our stats probably haven't included that round yet, so a couple more in there. 4 opening kills, only 1 opening death, yeah. Look, if we had seen Killerman playing this well all stage, and we'd seen Saved playing as well as he has this stage, we've seen the J-Par that we saw yesterday, Circular Spheres would be...
Probably still would have finished third.
Yeah, true, actually. I'm like, you can't get that much better. Like, they wouldn't jump Chiefs or GG, but they'd be... I guess the difference is they'd be decisively third, because I certainly had not put Circular Spheres even in my top 6 at various points.
Before the last game day, they, in fact, weren't even in the playoffs. They got through based on their last performance. And the fact that Supernova couldn't quite get through based on points. I think they were 1 point behind in the end.
Yeah, it was a win over Prodigy, I believe, in the final play day. We were very surprised that Circular Spheres, the established team with all these crazy fraggers, we were surprised that they 7-1'd Prodigy, who were, you know, up until this stage were kind of nobodies. Goes to show the fall from grace and the lowered expectations we had of this roster. Now Neptune, after firing up, has found his kill in this next round. The Fenrir taken down. No more changing over which of those dread mines are active. And this may be where Outlast begins to capitulate.
Yeah, I think the mental after that last round might be starting to wane a little bit. Obviously, they had the advantage. It's happened a few times in this series where they've had the man advantage and just unable to convert. Especially off the opening pick saved.
Bailey!
Continues to get his entry form.
Like, how do you lose that, Bailey, man? It wasn't even ADS, and Stave still finds that headshot. Now, ACOG is feeling like he needs to get a little bit aggressive and can't just play in that vending position. Doesn't get the angle on this pixel fight. It's just not a good look, is it?
No, and it looks like the defense will need to be aggressive to find any of these kills back, but...
Freebie. He doesn't know.
Ned's going to need to be aggressive. Saved will find the other one onto ACOG, playing at top spiral stairs. Ned will find one onto Japer. And with these Tachunkers, he can force out this position in meeting.
Yeah, but he's being hunted down.
We'll
That's a
find a
good
second.
kill, though. Yeah, Ned might actually be able to bring this one back. The fires here, actually, from his position, very possible. Yentai's also got a good cross here, watching onto the long desk position. There's information as well. Yellow Ping's coming out onto Neptune at top spiral, and Yentai swings him. Ned could certainly turn this around. Him and Yentai have 2v5'd. And again, a round is just stolen by the opposition.
Dev, what is the point of man advantage anymore?
Is it 3v5 that CS won into a 2v5 that Outlast won?
We just got to hold our guns, boys. Just hold our guns for a couple more seconds. Let's just wait. Let's just get drones on them. Let's figure out where these last two are. And let's execute on them together. I mean, all props to Ned.
Yeah.
From that position, was definitely stuck in there by himself. That Tachanka is really strong in there as well. Once that balcony player has been taken out, it becomes a lot easier to play in there and deny with the Tachanka. And the Outlast actually going to be taking the tack time out. I don't know if that was called before the clutch.
Yeah.
Quite possibly, or maybe just a way to calm down. Bailey's on Snapchat.
Of course he is, mate. Hitting up all the e-girls. A little thing that I noticed as well. So Neptune was the one playing top spiral, and I saw Yellow Ping on his position. There was no Valkyrie. That was surely just default spiral cam.
Top spiral cam again.
I don't think CS shot the bloody top spiral default cam.
Yeah,
How do you
that's
make a
the second
mistake
time.
like that?
And he's been playing Dokkaebi every round, so
Yeah.
even just the call.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a rough watch there for CS. I think that's a worse fumble than the Outlast fumble. Because I feel like when Outlast fumbled that defense 2 rounds ago, it was because CS played well, right? And to their credit, like Ned in particular, Ned and Yentai played well. But I think CS really fumbled that attack. That should not have been a lost round.
Yeah, it's just about slowing down. We've said it a few times. Just slowing down, getting the information that you need on the last 2 players. I wasn't able to see how many drones were left at the end there, but if you decide to walk into the site without information on the last 2 players, things like that can happen. And there still was a fair bit of time as well. It wasn't like the time was really waning down. So, just a little room for improvement there for Circular Spheres. They're going to need to convert these man advantage rounds if they're going to take this map. Because Outlast very easily on this defense could run away with it.
Yeah, very much so. We're over into piano room for the defense this time around. And so Circular Spheres have to decide, well, are we going to take the top floor methodically? Are we going to try and do something a little bit cheeky? It looks like it's a top floor contest. Now, the big difference here then is the Valkyrie actually has been brought. And the only real counter is the Dokkaebi. So ideally here, Circular Spheres find an early pick, hack those cameras. I don't know why they haven't droned. Like, what is this disrespect? They haven't checked anything. Not a single drone was thrown into admin then. Oh, there's one drone in break room, but they just didn't drone like the TV room at all. Another drone in break, doesn't find anything. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, two drones going towards break room.
I don't know what to say.
Is able to find a 3K. This is exactly the kind of round that Relays wins. These very loose
Japer's
attacks.
just left the game.
Japer, rightfully so, said, "Who the hell droned admin and said I could rappel in? I'm done." But yeah, I don't know. It's like against these players, these mid-table teams, they all have one thing in common. They're really good at punishing terrible attacks.
Yeah.
It's that simple. That's why all of their defensive win rates are quite high compared to their attacks. And why players like Relays are like plus 30 on the stage.
Yeah.
Because him and Saved, in particular, are very good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you don't drone him, he's just going to go and find a couple of kills.
They're sharp, man.
Yeah.
They're really sharp.
Yeah.
They're young, 18 years old. They're the kind of people that just rip your head off.
Yeah. And we need Save to go unbelievable this round. He's got 11 kills. Neptune's got 2, by the way. Saved has the most kills in the server. He's going to use one of the hard breach gadgets to open up an avenue onto site. Now, that could be a backstab for the defense if this comes down to a retake. Should they get a plant down? I think the focus has to be going for kills here. 2v4 is winnable, but that mirror window certainly makes things awkward. Yentire is Warden! How does he get flashed? I guess it doesn't matter, but why is the Warden getting flashed and not using his bloody glasses?
He got EMP'd.
Oh, did he?
He did.
I was wondering why you're waving your finger at me.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad catch.
Because I saw it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was whenever I watched Bank last. People using Thatcher on the stairs of the blue stairs, without ADSs on. I'm like, why are they Thatchering it?
That's actually kind of smart.
Disables the glasses. I'm not sure if Neptune was fully aware that it was the Warden behind the mirror. It obviously might have just been a good guess, but worked out perfectly. Unable to finish the kill. It was a good attempt, but yeah, the start of this attack is just... it's not good. It's really not good.
I'll tell you what, Vinny, I'm glad that you're here, because I would have looked like such an idiot if I had made that. Why is he not using his glasses? If I hadn't realized that impede. So thank you for the catch there.
Absolutely.
Save looks like he's literally asleep.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually had a good game compared to the first one. He's woken up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, when you're playing for something like a third place match, there is money on the line, there is pride on the line, but doesn't quite have the same vigor of playing for a major spot, which we're going to see very soon.
Oh yeah. I mean, game of the stage. I think GG versus Chiefs is the most highly anticipated match of Oceanic Rainbow Six we have had. I honestly don't remember. Since when? I cannot remember.
Because even way back in the day when you're thinking about, you know, the wildcard Fnatic days, there weren't many times when both of those teams were at the top.
Yeah. I mean, we had we had the Chiefs Bliss rivalry in OCN, but that was not for a major spot. But it was still a good rivalry. Like, I remember the grand final it was actually your first time doing
the
analyst work. Yeah, that was really fun. That was a really good match. We had a reverse sweep, Bliss up 2-0, Chiefs reverse sweep them 3-2. That was a really good match and a great rivalry. But at the end of the day, it was mostly just for a bit of money. It wasn't for a spot at a major. There wasn't the storyline with the Oda versus his old team. And yeah, like you said, that old wildcard dominance, the Fnatic dominance, those were kind of at different eras. And again, when they qualified for international events, they always went through the APAC finals and played against the other APAC teams. So it was never a real rivalry between two teams. So I dare say that this grand final that we've got coming up after this match could be the most anticipated match in Oceanic Rainbow Six history.
And I think it's signifying a big shift in the region because it has been that Bliss dominance, now GG dominance for such a long time. And I mentioned it on the desk yesterday. I think it took something like this. It needed to be a big shake-up for our region to get better as a whole.
Yeah.
We need competition, and we need teams to be able to fight against teams like GG.
Getting Fnatic, Jigsaw back from Fnatic, getting Tex back in the region, obviously from Fnatic at one point as well. Getting Oda transferring over from Bliss, and then getting some young talent like Quiz on that roster. It's the perfect solution. There's one player I've just done dirty by not mentioning. Who is it? Who's the fifth I didn't mention?
From Supernova?
No, from Chiefs. I mentioned Oda.
Quiz?
I mentioned Quiz. Oda, Quiz, Tex, Jigsaw. Karo.
Karo.
Your mate.
Well, that's a blank spot in my memory. So I forgot him as well.
You teamed with the guy, for God's sake.
Yeah, it was an experience. No, I wish them all the best, obviously. I think my prediction for today was GG, and I think I'm going to back the boys in, but I'm very happy to see a bit of contest.
Yeah, very much.
And I've heard little inklings of perhaps some other older players coming back.
Whoa, okay, then.
Probably not enough I can say on the broadcast, but I
Okay,
will divulge.
Oh, very exciting. I like a little bit of a tease.
But this attack halfway through.
Yeah, and match point is still looming here for Outlast to send us onto Nighthaven Labs as a third map. Just have to hold on to this defense, but they are in this 4 versus 5 still. The Deimos is continuing to work this vert, which is really, really nice. And might actually spot, it's just a clash, not able to really do much about it. However, Save does find the Entire, so this is getting very claustrophobic on the site as Outlast are struggling to try and figure out how they're going to deal with this. Ned finds one. That little bit of aggression, but he's about to find a few more coming down his spiral stairs.
Yeah, and this clash becomes completely ineffective once all of his teammates go down. Obviously, those 2 picks, meaning that he's stuck here. But Neb will find one onto Saved. And all of a sudden, we're in a 3v3 with the clash up.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 5v3 just a moment ago. Circular Spheres cannot afford to fumble this one, especially as they are trailing, and Outlast is starting to build this defensive half up into their favor. The clash, again, threatening, preventing this plant from going down. Killerman has to go deep. He finds it down. And the swivel doesn't work out for Bailey. It's all up to ACOG now. He almost gets one. Low HP on 2 of these players, as he's all alone and has very little information. Neptune just holding in a bit of an off angle. ACOG likely to be caught, and Neptune does it. We're tied once again on the scoreline. Circular Spheres have found another round of attack.
Yeah, looked like maybe they had thrown away a man advantage once again, but once they lost those 2 first kills in the 5v3, they were able to hold it down. Neptune coming down the spiral stairs and having massive impact on the backstab. Yeah, Bailey just got stuck at that pipes position on the clash. Realistically had 2 or 3 different positions that he had to cover, and unless you've got, 16,000 DPI and you're doing 360s on the spot, you can't cover all of them.
Yeah.
But a good round from Circular Spheres, 5-5, making sure that they're staying in the contest and not giving away too many of these attacks.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of a feeling there, Vinny, that we were going to see it again, because it was a 5v3, right? We've seen too many of these 4v5s and 5v3s not work out for the team with favoured numbers. So Circular Spheres are lucky that they locked in at the end of that round. Otherwise, I think we'd have our head in our hands again. It's been too many times, man.
Has been way too many times. We're back to this top 4 site.
We are indeed. We haven't seen the Amari yet, by the way. I saw Circular Spheres tease it out in the pick phase and then pick off of it a couple of times, but I love the Amari on console, especially with Goyo banned, because I actually saw, I can't remember which region it was, but like one player Amaru'd into CEO hatch, or CEO window, like we're watching now, immediately into a Vulcan canister and then tried to vault out straight away and just died before he could get out.
Yeah, I think that might have been here.
Was that OCE?
I think, was that the GG game?
It might have been GG versus Supernova. Surely not.
Yeah, I think it was Bappin.
Bappin.
Wasn't Bappin jumping in and out?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Goyo's banned, right? So it's actually going to be way easier if you want to go for an Amaru execute.
That's a really good point. Yeah, it would rely almost solely on vertical control from Piano, which can be quite easy to take for the attackers.
Well, the Smoke and the Chanka combo, I guess, help, but still, it's not a perfect solution.
But yeah, Circular Spheres choosing to do this admin across once again. It did work out for them last time. They obviously got it down to a 5v2, but lost out the clutch to Yentire and Ned. So maybe hoping they can just finish off the round, play it out pretty similarly.
I think Bailey's trapped here. Killerman on this rappel. Nobody downstairs in position to try and run out or peek onto his position. He's done a decent amount of damage onto Bailey now. The repeak is attempted to come out from Realize, who's trying to support. Uses the glasses to prevent the Ying from flashing him out. Another Candela is about to be thrown here by Saved. And the rappel in as well. Saved finds Relays. And immediately going in for the second, but Bailey is long gone. Meanwhile, ACOG has managed to trade onto save. Now that is a worthwhile trade for the defense.
Yeah, that's a really big kill. That Ying would have been really important in clearing out that vending machine position. Obviously, one nade left on Japer, but with the Wamai still up, can almost guarantee that nade will get caught. Although 3 EMPs in pocket as well. If they can pick out where these Wamai discs are with a bit of information, they might be able to get this nade through.
There is the Ash charge as well, potentially to be used, but there's still a Wamai disc.
I got caught.
Okay, there's still one more Wamai disc as well.
Yeah, so no utility now to clear this other than the Ash charge. He has one more.
Is he going to use it? Oh, the player actually retreats and, yeah, throw up your hands. Outlast have given away the kill. However, found one back with Yentire on the Tachanka, and Bailey close with a shotgun. Running through the flames now. Net feels the pressure, and he does finally get Yentire. The Tachanka is down. So a little bit of plant denial thanks to Ned with the smoke as he throws out his second. Still very winnable, though, for Circular Spheres, but time is ticking down, and this angle favors Ned. Misses his shots. Bailey on the angle also finds it. The shotgun comes out. How does Japer win that? 15 seconds to find the second now, as he has this diffuser in pocket. Ned uses his last gas babe, and that forces Japer to go deep. 17 HP. He just needs to land a couple of shots. The pre-fire comes out. Ned 1 HP. 1 bullet's all you need. But he doesn't get it! No bloody clue how it's happened, but Outlast have got map point.
I don't know if the broadcast could hear that, but I heard Nuttery scream no.
It was a 1 HP, bro.
Oh.
1 HP.
Yeah, I mean, he had the health advantage. I'm not sure what Japer could have done very differently there. He had the swing, but I think he was worried about the shotgun.
Yeah. I mean, he already 1v1'd one shotgun somehow and won it. Lightning does not strike twice. How does he win that? Bro, like, drop shot it as well, by the way.
Oh, he's literally 1 HP.
Yep. And he tried drop shotting again. I reckon 20 more milliseconds, and they win that round.
But match point Outlast. Timeout taken by Circular Spheres. I'm not sure really what they could be talking about right now. Their attacks seem to be okay at the later half of this stage. Definitely more pointed.
And they fumbled that. Was that a 3v3? Because there was, I think it was a 3v2, wasn't it? I think they had numbers advantage.
Who died? Yeah, it was a 2v2 in the end. And I thought with the health advantage they had on Bailey as well as the longer range weapons, maybe they might have flipped towards a CEO and used that long range ACOG advantage against the 2 SMG11s, but opted to try force it through meeting. And
Yeah, Bailey got way too much value out of his position.
realistically, Bailey should have got both kills with that shotgun. Japer hitting a drop shot, hip fire.
Love that. Well. Look, as much as we give Bailey shit, and I really love giving him shit, but he's actually been pretty good this game. In terms of his kills, like, yeah, he was playing the blitz on attack, and that had not a huge impact, but he's somehow top fragging his team alongside Ned, and only beaten out by Saved on the other team.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, Save's found a little bit of form in this game. I saw a couple rounds ago, he typed in all chat, I've been awake for 30 hours, please let it end.
Jesus.
So
Why has this man not slept?
I think he works night shift,
Oh, wow.
from what I remember. I think he might be a lollipop man.
Oh. I see.
That could be wrong. That might have changed. That was a while ago, but
Well, we don't start until, I don't know where he's based, but we don't start until like 6 PM or something like that, his time. So if he's working night shift, he can sleep in the day.
it's true. Maybe they were hitting up some scrims. Practice scrims for 3rd place.
Gotta do it. You gotta do it, man. we were talking about scrims earlier today as well when you were talking about Kelton's Knights. And you were saying that you actually think you probably would have played better had you not scrimmed as much.
Yeah, I think it was a different mindset back then. It was definitely more about having fun. These guys, I think, take it a bit more seriously than we did. I'm not sure what their scrim schedules are like, but if you're scrimming, 3 to 4 times a week, that's definitely beneficial. If you're scrimming once a week / once every 2 weeks, I think it actually has the opposite effect. So, minute gone. Once again, this admin across for bottom, looking to roam clear out the top floor. Be interesting to see if they've actually droned out this top floor correctly, or Relays is going to have another insane game.
Here comes the nade. Neptune's going to open up another avenue for him as well. Bit of free real estate. No one in that vending position, though. They haven't actually droned it yet. I think they're assuming it's clear. They are pretty keen to take this control. The Ash comes through, can counter that mirror window. This has been really nice, really methodical. Ned, though, does take an aggressive position. Might find a kill off it.
Much better attack so far from Circular Spheres, but as I say that, Ned will find the kill onto Neptune, and then the C4 is going to come over the top and find Physics. So a double kill now for Ned, putting his team in a terrific spot to close out this map.
Yeah, this is all on Ned this round so far, and he still hasn't been flushed out. I think he starts to fall back now, and he will get caught by Japer, but damage done. Two big players to find. Physics with that hard breach, and Nep with that Ash. Second mirror window likely to stay intact now. But at least top floor control has been gained by the attack.
Top floor control, but only 45 seconds left. This is where it comes down to the wire, and they have to decide where they want to execute. A fair bit of vertical created for them by the defense, so a few angles to peek through, but there's so many angles now to clear out. So many crossfires once they drop onto the site. Killerman's going to make his way down yellow stairs, and he needs to win this first fight onto the Oryx.
Oh,
and
he does. And he needs to drone up here. I mean, there's not much information, and he does get killed. A second one likely to come through from Yentai, a shotgun in hand, but Saved has got him. Japer actually somehow confirmed that kill up from above. Now with 13 seconds left, this is far too late to be recollecting that diffuser. 2 versus 2. And the Plantanol in the late round may well come down to a C4. Both of these defenders have him. This plant has to be stuck. The C4 to be tossed on up. OUTLAST can win the round. Bailey finds them both. Our third place match will require a third place map.
Yeah, good finish there from OUTLAST. We said if they got 3-3 on the half, then they would have a decent defensive half and be able to maybe close it out, and they did just that. A little bit loose on those Circular Spheres attacks. I think that was their best attack so far in that last round, but Physics stood up. Oh, Ned, sorry, stood up and got the double kill to open up the round.
Yeah. Big game overall from OUTLAST. They've proven that this is very much a contest and not nearly as one-sided as Border would have had us believe. We're going to Nighthaven Labs after the desk breaks that map down.
I think I'd rather break down. Look, OUTLAST, they're still showing good signs, guys. It's been, I think, it's been an up and down station. It's been a roller coaster. I was really on the bandwagon to begin with, then I kind of slipped off a bit. Now heading into playoffs, I really wasn't sure what to expect. But they've continued to improve. They've continued to impress.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good team effort overall in terms of like EPS spread. It was rather consistent between the 5 players of OUTLAST, and they were just able to chip away at this game. Opportunities did present themselves to Circular Spheres. There were several very close rounds towards the death of this particular series, probably none more so than the Japer clutch attempt here, which would have put them on that match point. Unfortunately, he was unable to convert, and then OUTLAST doing a decent job in consolidating and being able to get the result across the line here in regulation. So third map awaits, Nighthaven Labs on the other side, and the grand final is just feels like it's
a while
not
away.
even an arm's reach away. It's a hop, skip, and a jump away at this point.
I am happy for OUTLAST, though.
Yeah.
As much as I wanted a 2-0 simply for the fact of getting into the grand final because I'm just itching for it. But I think that it's a really good reward. Whatever happens from here, someone's going to win this 2-1.
Yep.
The other team can at least feel a little bit better about themselves, and that's the main thing. I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. We've seen that now in this particular third place series. They're taking it pretty serious as well from what I've been able to see, and I think for OUTLAST it's certainly reward for effort on the stage for what's been a good stage for these lads, and a reward for the organization as well, putting the trust in them coming into this region, so it's really good to see. I've been seeing a lot of the OUTLAST org people in chat and on Twitter and stuff like that, so they've been really on board this stage, which has been great to see. And I think for Circular Spheres, I don't want to say it's like almost saved or bust, but it kind of feels like if he's not dropping, huge amounts. I say that though in the first map, and he didn't drop huge amounts and they won. So I mean, it's really a difficult statement to make. But I think OUTLAST have got a really well-rounded roster. I know that I've obviously been kind of praising them and talking about them as individuals, but even as a roster, like, you don't need just one person to go and pop off. Like in this case, it's Ned and it's Bailey. How many times have we seen over the last few weeks it's actually been the other two in Relays and ACOG, and yet they're the ones on the bottom side of the standings for OUTLAST, and yet they still get the win. So it really does, to me, go to show they're not just relying on 1 or 2 players and that everyone can stand up. Yentai was big in the quarterfinals as well, and you know, 7-5 for this particular game. Good on Outlast for extending it.
100%. I'm sure you're saying that through gritted teeth.
Absolutely.
It's one thing that I kind of said to Vinny on the desk yesterday, Guz, and look, it was somewhat a little outlandish, but I see Outlast as kind of like the extricity of 2019, 2020.
Wow.
In terms of,
Jeez, that's taking it
well,
back.
I'm not saying the players on the roster. Okay,
The vibe.
I'm not saying that was an immaculate roster. If anyone wants to find out, just type in extricity into Liquipedia and go and have a look at the name. You would be shocked at the names that have reached the top pinnacle point of their careers in OCE. But the reason why I said it, guys, is because this is a young roster. They've come together quite late in the picture, and they're competing against some of the best teams that we've got in OCE, and they're doing a good job of it.
Yeah, I mean, as Jake is kind of alluding to, showing pretty good depth throughout that second map, and even those who have maybe struggled a little bit throughout the stage, having a good performance here tonight.
Yep.
And look, I think going forward, the wider discussion for OCE is going to be who's going to fill the third slot and be sort of next in line to contend the GGs and the Chiefs of the world. I don't know if it's going to be either of these rosters in their current form, but I certainly think there's positive signs from both rosters, to be fair, that in future the next line, the next foray of players is there and ready to give it a crack.
Yeah.
Well, it's really exciting because we've never really had a team that could compete with GG on a very serious level, right? Most times we went into any best of three, even when Man LFO were at their peak, Xenox, we never, I mean, at least I never felt super confident that they would ever beat GG. I thought they'd make it close. Whereas now, because we've got that conversation of Chiefs and GG kind of wrapped up in like a, hey, this is the game, this is the one, we now start to fill these kind of storylines underneath. And it's like, as guys are saying, who is the next in line?
Yeah.
Who is that team that kind of pushes teams to their limits? Both of these teams could make a case. Obviously, we need to see more from them, but we move to Nighthaven Labs. It is Circular Sphere's defense start, and I know what you think about defense labs. We've seen it before. Will it happen again? But I do worry a little bit here. We are getting quite late in the picture. I'm sure that both teams, as serious as they're taking it, they both know that it is just overall a third place match.
Well, Labs is the kind of map that you probably can't be as free-balling as a consulate and as a border, especially, right? You got to do quite a lot, especially
That's
on
an
on the
interesting
top floor.
term to use.
What?
Free balling.
You can't go commando. You know what I mean?
Can't go commando on Labs. You really can't. You know, you're gonna have to put the work in. If you want to take
You
command
will.
server on the attack, you're gonna have to really put the work in, right?
Yeah.
Even Labs can be tricky to take. To even the tertiary sites, you know, I think Labs is a really Labs is honestly close to probably one of my favorite maps. Yeah.
Why? Is there a
What
particular
would
reason?
top it?
I would say the main reason why I would say that is because I think you can really signify who are the good teams when they play it and who are
Yeah.
the bad teams.
Oh, very true. It's very true. Attack is a very big trend in this region specifically.
You could say some teams are good at labs and other teams they are not.
That's
You could say that, Michael. I'm glad you did.
And you know what? Some best of three games are great. Some are not. I'll let you decide. We'll be back after this with Labs.
Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up, I'm a pilot. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel it? Let's go.
It's total calamity, total mayhem inside of the server. Out of nowhere, they find their round back into their favor.
Holding up for the blood, the wave! And I think he might just find it!
Got you tulips in a twist. Hand out boss like communist. No, I can never ever get back all the things I missed. But I'm that man that think you got the gist. Got you tulips in a twist. Hand out boss like communist. Tap, tap, yeah, I want that. No lines, I don't cut back. Sweet, salty, and all that. Let loose, come get that. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel it? Let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel that? Ooh, you feel that? Ooh, the real back. Ooh, I'm still that. Ooh, you catch that? Ooh, I guess that. The best back. Yeah, yeah. 30,000 up on my pallet. Might jump out if I'm wildin'. Catch my flow, I'm so stylish. Tap, tap, real smooth. Can you play that back, back, back? Can you run that back, back, back? I'm trying to play that back, back, back. I want that. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Tap, tap, let's go, let's go. Right here, can you feel it? Let's go.
It's total calamity, total mayhem inside of the server. Out of nowhere, they find their round back into their favor.
Holding up for the plant, the wave! And I think he might just find it!
Got you tulips in a twist. Hand out boss like communist. No, I can never ever get back all the things I missed. But I'm that man that think you got the gist. Got you tulips in a twist. Hand out boss like communist.
And welcome back to your mother's favorite league here for the third place match in Oceania. Circular Spheres and Outlast have driven us all the way, Vinny, to map number 3.
1-1. We were not expecting this. We thought it might have been a Circular Spheres 2-0 Xenox, especially. We thought it was over.
thought it was over, but they will not lay down their arms.
Outlast haven't given up on this third spot. Good for them.
But can they outlast Circular Spheres? You know what would have been great is if Outlast came 8th in this league. Because we could have said, Outlast are dead last. Mic drop.
Could even say Outlast or Outlast.
Oh, like out, comma, last. That's actually way better. I hadn't thought of that. Fuck. Sorry, I've probably used my my allotment of curse words.
I wasted mine last night. I hadn't sworn all stage.
But you get one per play day is what I heard.
Oh, is it?
That's what I
Oh,
thought.
well, then I've got about 10 saved up.
So you can. We've got 7 rounds of siege here.
I'll use one for each
I
round.
don't think they stack, but depends how brave you're feeling.
No, it's all good.
Oh.
It is all good.
I'm disappointed that we have the Finker and the Goyo out again, man. Like these saved bans. Is that really worth it, Outlast?
I don't know. Saved had a pretty good map last map, even with those bans. Ended up finishing 14 and 10, 2 and 1 on entry, and an 83% cost. So by his standards, it's actually a pretty good map.
Yeah.
Even without the Finker and the Goyo.
Especially the cost, 83% is really high.
Yeah. I mean, it does help when Bailey walks in as Blitz and then flashes him and doesn't finish off the kill.
Yeah, that was hilarious. We actually saw a Castle van come out here as well. I don't know what Circular Spheres are cooking up. We saw a lot of really nice Castle on Border, though it didn't save Outlast there. But you're about to get literal destroyed.
Full stop on the end too.
Yeah.
10 marks for punctuation.
Marks for punctuation, but not marks for grammar, because literal is an it's not. It should be literally destroyed, right? Like it should be an adverb.
And he didn't capitalize the first word of the sentence.
Honestly, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I know like people, specifically on like iPhone, I know people that like turn off the auto capitalization.
Which is weird.
I never understood it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised these days when I get a text message that doesn't start with a capital letter, because I don't capitalize it, but it does it automatically, right?
And it's like if you're like on Discord or something, I know if someone's texting from their phone.
From their phone, because it's capitalized, whereas on the computer, they're not capitalizing it.
Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, saved. That's a fail by him. But he's back on his favorite vector on the defense. Mira is a very good operator on Nighthaven Labs, so able to bring utility for his team as well as hopefully impact in the fragging department.
What's he looking for?
I think that's the door to storage.
Yeah, but you don't expect someone to be entering that early. Oh well. Early kill though, Killerman is punished. Oh, he was just playing on rafters and got shot from outside. That's a bit of an awkward way to lose his army early.
And the use of these Flores drones will clear out those armies as well as the frost mats on that window. So I think rafters control can be swiftly taken by the attacking team. And they've taken a lot of map control early. Able to get these external walls with basically no contest, Bailey, on that thermite. I'm interested to see where the second part of this push comes from. We've seen a lot of teams go for that IT blue split, but it looks like Jape has been taken down by that IT breach. Probably getting a little bit too aggressive, looking for a kill back after losing his teammate Killerman. And with this lack of pressure on rafters, they're now able to work on this mirror, but the mute jammer keeps it close for a while. Thatcher still on the board for ACOG.
Yeah, we need ACOG to come rotate over there. But I don't know. Okay, here we go. EMP comes out. That will likely catch it. Neb's actually gone for a swing. The timing is perfect. Save gets traded after finding one. Numbers advantage now withstood by Circular Spheres, though Japer is low HP. Good crossfire is still set up. Plenty of time to work with, though, with Outlast. Want to reposition.
And Relay is continuing to work on this rafters wall. Japer down to 20 HP after being downed and revived. ACOG looking to take through this IT breach and make his way towards Pillar. Unable to find anything at the moment. Circular Sphere is not taking any of these 50-50 gunfights and holding this crossfire onto these two doors. Because of the lack of entry, or the lack of external wall opening from Outlast Gaming, it looks like really they're going to be funneling through these two doors.
Yeah, they're just baiting for kills at the moment. Not likely to find much. Oh, a bit of an interesting choice here. As Relays decides to rotate back down, but yeah, he's now being caught out. This should be an easy kill for Neptune. 4 on the round. And an extremely convincing, solid start for Circular Spheres. I don't know, you didn't even see him on his screen. Great start here on the defense.
Good round from Neptune. 4K on the round. I think his team definitely needed him to step up there after Killerman's early demise and the early map control taken by Outlast. Probably still not enough, though, in terms of the way that Outlast wanted to attack that map. Definitely sort of one-directional there. Taking through rafters and IT only. It's pretty often that you see teams take through blue or open up that connector wall. Look for more of a pinch. Obviously with the mirror up, it can be quite difficult to take that connector area, but you need to see sort of a two-pronged attack for that top floor site on Nighthaven.
Yeah, very true. One of the things I actually really like about Nighthaven is there are so many ways to enter all of the bomb sites. And so it does create for quite a dynamic map, and it does allow you to go for split pushes. Like even on the basement here, sometimes you see EXO, sometimes you see the two breaches. You got two different breaches, and you got two different staircases that lead down a site plus a hatch. Like, there's a lot of ways into it. There's a lot of vert. It doesn't mean that the site is also like too hard to take. I think it's, yeah, it's well balanced.
Yeah, I've been pretty disappointed, to be honest, with the way that our region has attacked Nighthaven. Basically, besides Chiefs and GG at the moment, it looks like most teams look to just open that IT wall and then from there take rafters or force their way through blue. But I think there is a lot more room for creativity, taking vertical control and looking to get picks into sight, or maybe, yeah, like as you mentioned, a two-direction attack.
Are we going to see a jump out? I think Save was running over to the staircase. There's temptation here for Killerman to go for this run out. Because he didn't take out the default cam, by the way. Relays. Yeah, okay. I have seen it all. I have officially seen it all. I have seen a Nook, after getting a buff, just die because he didn't shoot the default cam. And he wasn't using his gadget.
To a Vigil that has the same ability.
Well, we're going to see Outlast just go straight in on the back of these EMPs and smokes. C4 goes out. Yentai are lucky to have landed that shot. But the Glaz is taken low and finished off by Killerman on the vert above with that Boss G. The plant cannot be spotted as it is in that smoke. Oh, denied at the last second by Killerman. 3 Boss G kills on the round. Outlast are completely lost, and Circular Spheres have this one dead to rights.
We saw a pretty similar attack on Consulate, very directed garage attack, but unfortunately not able to get the same result out of this one. It's so important to pressure that storage area if you're going to go for something like this. There's so many lines of sight onto that bomb site. So many ways to deny, especially with Killerman on that boss G. All it takes is one shot through the vertical. Don't really have to focus on headshots or anything like that. Able to deny both the entry of the Glaz and the bomb plant. Put his team in a perfect spot to close out the second round and make it 2-0.
ACOG might find one. Oh, the mirror window as well, though. Like, there's no way into it. Yeah. I will say, I respect the idea. Clearly, it was, okay, let's go for a cheeky little, like, breach-centric push with a knock backstab. Problem is, your knock backstab completely fumbled, and your breach entry didn't account for players on the vert above. And there was also no counter for the mirror, aside from just pre-firing and smoking things off. So, not a lot of legs to this attack. Except for a few consolation frags, I guess. Saved finally gets ACOG. And yeah, round is done. Two very solid defenses for Secular Spheres, and not much into it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there with that attack. It looked like it was predetermined, but I think with that lack of info on site, they probably didn't realize exactly how much they were running into. There was the mirror window, there was the vertical from storage. Beautiful shot from Yentai to deny that C4. That probably could have got one. As well as a BPC at the EXO door, you can see it there. So those smokes were basically ineffective. All that information being fed up to Killerman, who was able to deny both the Glaz entry and the bomb plant.
Yeah.
After, of course, getting that initial kill onto Relays outside on Nook.
I wonder if Relays knows that the default cam was up. Like, I wonder if he's had that thought process. Like, if you get run out on like that.
Yeah, I think that would be...
Also, the garage rafters window was open, right? And he droned past it.
Yeah, he droned past the window and then went straight to blue.
Yeah, and his drone... Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe he probably got a little tunnel visioned on where his own pathing was going to be. He was probably going to enter top blue and he thought that's probably the best place to drone first, but did not account for Killerman. It's an interesting position.
It's a spawn peak. This is a very gnarly spawn peak.
With this gun in his hands, I'd be terrified to peek
No
it.
way!
He does get a shot off onto ACOG, who's down to 38 HP. That must be absolute max range for the Boss G to not be a one-shot.
Wow, that's a lot of damage and well worth it. It's also a spawn pick I've not seen before. Very much a good one. Probably better with a gun that's not the Boss G. You need something like a DMR. I reckon like with Tubarao or Rooney, you could probably win that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of banking on a headshot there, wasn't he?
You're not going to get a headshot most of the time with that Boss G.
We're looking at the second attack. It looks like we're putting more emphasis on opening up this connector wall. Obviously, this is a kitchen attack.
Is it?
I believe so.
I genuinely did not notice that. This is an angle, by the way. Killerman about to get fought on the vert, taking a huge amount of damage. I mean, this is quite something you don't see.
Yeah, that is an insane peak by the Vigil to look up and expect to do much damage. He's actually basically wasted all the damage that he did. He's now on the same amount of HP as ACOG. But nullifying that spawn peak.
It was actually ACOG fighting him back, wasn't it, as well? Which
It
was
was.
kind of funny. A little bit of return fire.
Looks like Physics is looking to hold on to this hallway area. Still looking to fight this connector breach. Not a lot of damage done from both sides, but with this Warden, he's able to dodge that flash and continue to take fights. As they enter con, he might be able to take out the first. Bailey onto him. Makes it a 4v5, and some important map control taken. Japer will find one back, though, onto Bailey. And now it becomes a little tricky for the attack.
This has been a very strange fight on the top floor here. The Grim B is about to come out. Japer's going to fall back. He has now been spotted. This has been, yeah, quite a very strange defense so far. Very loose contest from Circular Spheres on that top floor. And while they even the numbers, they have lost this ground. And now Yentai can start opening up the floor and exposing these positions on site.
Yeah, the Ram is going to be very strong here. Just able to get this verticality. There is not a lot of places to play inside of the site once this vert is reached, but he hasn't done a whole lot. And Neptune's been able to reposition now. Sounded like Killerman got it down with that Boss G. And there's a lot of information in lobby. Throws out the Pokeball. Yentai will find one through the vert onto saved.
There's clearly a Valkyrie cam in lobby there that's enabling this aggression. Japer spotted out for a brief moment by the Bees. The revive comes through. That's one kill. A second there for Neptune. And Outlast have simply fallen apart on this very unfavored tertiary bomb site. They have been picked to pieces. However, still a chance in it as Yentai has found one, but Japer is able to just quickly cut down Relays. It's a 1v1 all of a sudden. Low HP here on Yentai. Doesn't seem to know where Japer is, and there's no time to find him. Circular Spheres, complete a rotation. 3 different bomb sites, 3 rounds of defense, 1. Just vibing, just chilling. Easy as you like.
Yeah, we said before the map started, or you said in particular, can't wait to see 2-5-1 defensive halves. And it seems to be going that way right now.
Post doesn't like attacking this map.
Yeah. I don't think that attack was necessarily too bad. Outlast, once again, going sort of one-directional in the way that they're clearing this top floor. It was all coming from that con side and the meeting area above. And we're able to get the picks and finally start working on the vert, but once they made that lobby control, Valkyrie cameras actually were probably the turning point in that. So much information fed to Killerman once again on that boss G. Able to get a lot done, and then of course Nep just sneaking his way out to 7-2. Had a really good map so far.
Yeah, Neptune got a 4K in the first round. Killerman got a 3K in the second round. And then I think Neptune got a 3K in the third round. I didn't quite count how many he got there. But that's every single round a player from CS is getting a big multi-kill.
It's sort of been the story of the series so far for them. Seems like these players that we've sort of come to expect not be able to really step up have found a little bit of form. Unfortunately, a little bit late in terms of the stage, but I mean, at this point, this third place match, there is some money on the line, some pride, and perhaps just build a little bit of momentum.
$3,000 dues.
$3,000 dues is nothing to scoff at. And I think we have SI qualifiers, open quals coming up soon, so maybe just building a little bit of momentum towards that. Any sort of experience you can get playing with your team in an official is invaluable.
Yeah, and the deeper you get through those SI quals, the better competition you're playing against, and eventually playing against APAC teams as well, right? So not just OCE, really get so much more experience by playing against that higher caliber of opponent. This is dirty. I don't mind this from Killerman. He doesn't quite have his crosshair in the right position, but it doesn't matter. Relays on the other side. Falls back. Killerman actually died from the window at the start of the last time we saw this bomb site, right? So him staying alive for a little bit is much better than what we saw previously.
And you'd think, having died to that window in the previous round, that perhaps he wouldn't stick his head in it the next time they defend it, but there's one man Killerman doesn't have, that is fear, as he continues to take this fight outside blue door.
He's toying with them, man.
He's going to replace the barricade with an Azami, so just allowing him to sort of pick the fight that he
What
wants.
is this?
And he's going to be blinded up
What is this?
by Relays, I believe it was, on the flash.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Relays. It was
I don't know.
Ned.
Yeah, man. How did he blocks up the doorway and then destroys it with an impact to take a fight, and the flash somehow costed him. I thought I could see the player jumping through the window, but we've got outline, so it's a little bit easy to say for us. Physics is on the flank though, and he's likely to get the timing off here. He didn't see him. The drone is spotted. The C4 goes out. The shot actually lands, and the C4 yet to detonate. It was a good bait indeed. Outlast though have brought it back to a 2 versus 2. Physics now with the shotgun in close range. He's not going to get contested. Bailey has meanwhile jumped into garage rafters. And Relays is deep in the site as well with that diffuser, but not sure if he's safe to plant as of yet. He goes deep. He needs to bide his time though, because if Physics swings it while he's planting, he's a dead man. And that's why the Bees come out and cut off that position. But Bailey is pretty much overloaded here, trying to cover as Relays forces that plant down. Japer is waiting for his chance. A 2v2 with guns up again. As Relays has finished off that plant, Japer has to take this fight close. He's worried about the player behind him. And these two players from Outlast have done a good job of covering. Bailey finds them both. And finally, the first round of attack on Nighthaven is won.
Yeah, really well played there from the attack on that 2v2. Obviously, they lost a lot of picks. And we thought maybe that might have been another round loss after getting major man advantage. But able to close it out. I think probably played a little bit too passively there by the last two in that situation. I think it was Physics and Japer in the end. Once they hear that plant going down, they really need to start isolating players. I think Physics from this blue position probably could have denied the plant, but I think was just waiting for his teammate in Japer to take out the player in IT. But we're back to 3-1, and it's something we've seen a fair bit during the series so far. One team going up 3-0. I think it's been Circular Spheres all 3 times, and then managing to bring it back to a 3-3.
Yeah, first map it was 3-0 CS, and then 3 rounds in a row for Outlast, and then CS won the rest of the rounds of the map, 4 in a row. So, yeah, we have seen quite a few. I don't know if this is the right word, but I feel like the series has been very streaky. Like, one team wins a streak of rounds in a row, and then the other team replies with the same.
It's probably a pretty good reflection on the stage as a whole for these mid-table teams. They've had some pretty insane performances against quite good teams, and then tend to sort of drop the ball against teams they probably should be beating.
Yeah, I mean, CS had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game loss streak between the end of their rivals' performance and then losing the Chiefs' Antic Supernova. Funnily enough, beating Outlast was actually their first win of the stage, and it was a 7-0. So the fact that Outlast has pushed us here to a third map and have already won an attack is kind of a good sign for them.
But yeah, I think streaky is definitely the right word to talk about their form. And I think it comes with being younger teams, teams with less experienced players, and teams with, I think, overall less experienced IGLs that can sort of command and sort of guide the team in the right direction. If you don't have that consistent leadership, then it can sometimes be difficult to have consistent results.
We saw Outlast get 4 rounds off Gaming Gladiators on Nighthaven, so I certainly wouldn't count them out on this map. If you can make a match competitive against the big dogs in the region, that's definitely bodes well for you. Killer Man. Oh, there we go. That's the head he's looking for. See you later, Ned. And now he's tempted to go and peek for a second one as well. And this Boss G has just been prolific for Killer Man in this series.
Yeah, he's just letting go at the moment. Just, I think the leash is off a little bit into this last map. Boss G has come out and he seems to have no fear in peeking any of these external windows. And it is making Outlast struggle a little bit with trying to find some of this map control. It's difficult to know where they can enter, especially considering they're looking to do sort of more of a direct push. They're not clearing from top down, so trying to save a bit of time, but it does look like there are defenders up there. I think it might be Killer Man who repositioned up there with the Boss G. And if he's not cleared out, then he could have a real impact later in the round.
Yeah, he has gone all the way up to rafters. He's just waiting for someone to cross his line. He does have chance for a flank later. They got the ram in. Oh, and here we go, perfect. Deimos targeting out. Oh, the Deathmark failed because it is Vigil.
Yeah, Vigil, one of the only, I think the only defensive operator who can directly counter the Deimos. Obviously with mute jammers, if you stand on them when you're being tracked, it also cancels the Deimos Deathmark. And it completely wastes it for the Deimos. He does not get that charge back, so an interesting decision. Perhaps ACOG not quite understanding how that works with the Vigil. Although, if the Vigil has not used the Disruptor early enough, it at least will give them an idea of where he is positioned on the map.
Oh no, that's disgusting, man.
And a nice shot from ACOG. I mean, we just said that Deimos is countered by Vigil, and then ACOG proves us both wrong. Relays will find a second as well. Onto saved. That mid-floor entry proving to be quite effective.
Yeah, and the spawn peak that Killer Man managed to get onto Ned has kind of been regained now as Outlast have found 2 of the best players on this team. That said, Neptune has been the top fragger in this match, and he's still holding on to his position. Here comes a potential for an execute, though, as the diffuser is posed just outside Animus, ready to go into sight. Yentai needs to try and make good on his position to cover this plant. If it is to go down, Physics has his Nitro Cell, but Yentai does take him down, barely forcing that plant on the ground. A C4 not present for Japer, so he doesn't have many options. 2 versus 4. Neptune, I don't know where he is. He went for a flank upstairs and found nothing. 3 HP. Caught between a rock and a hard place, taken out. All up to Japer now. He finds his first, but it's not going to be easy, and ACOG finishes him off. Great round there from Outlast. And a second attack on Nighthaven, proving me wrong.
I think history is repeating itself a little bit there, Dev. You had the 3-0 start on the defense, and then all of a sudden Outlast able to string together 2. That top floor roam clear from ACOG solo, I think was a big factor in that round. Killer Man being able to take being able to... No, that's not correct English, is it? Being able to be taken out. Being taken out by ACOG, there you go. Was a big factor in that, of course. Didn't take a lot of his teammates' support to do that, and once that Vigil's off the board, it just gives a bit more freedom for the attack to focus on the site. We saw Neptune go for that flank late round, but ineffective. And yeah, if OUTLAST are able to get a third attacking round, we could almost say they've won the half again, and maybe able to close out the map with some strong defenses.
Yeah, if this is a 3-3 half, I reckon we're seeing exactly what happened on Consulate repeating itself, right? This should be a defensive favored game, and if Circular Spheres can't muster up a 4-2 split, I think it's Jova.
It's all Jova.
10 seconds left before insertion.
So, Killerman,
5 seconds
let's see if he's going to continue with this aggression. Seems like he wants this map to end as soon as possible, regardless of the result.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Cinematic. Have we got Christopher Nolan on the obsticks today or something?
It's close. We've got Sky.
We got Sky. Or it's actually Nuttery, sorry. I just got the dirtiest look from Nuttery. This is, the free cam was Nut.
Sorry, Nut. Yeah, I'm new to this stuff. I thought there was always one guy on free cams. I didn't know they switched.
They did the switches. Where have these concussions come from? Is that to try and deny a bandit juggle?
Yeah, so the Zofia below, outside that storage window, just double impacting and then using the Zofia stun to make sure that the bandit cannot trick the wall.
What bandit?
With this mirror, maybe an impact trick? I don't think so. It's probably too risky at this point in the round. This IT wall will get opened. Once again, Killerman picking the closest door to an enemy and sticking his head in it.
He's addicted, this guy. Gets a little kick out of it. A rush of tempting danger. There's two of them there. He finds one somehow. Not worth it, perhaps. I don't know. I mean, it's the only hard breacher taken out. Maybe it is worth it after all.
Yeah, with the way that OUTLAST are attacking this, it's probably not, because it looks like they're going for this direct push again anyway. And in saying that, the Azami late round can be very strong with these keeper barriers, especially given that Zofia's soft breach charges have already been used, so probably not a bad trade. And OUTLAST now gonna really struggle to make any headway into the site with so many of these walls now closed. Once again, they're gonna be funneling through this IT door and the rafters breach.
This is a good angle, though, that Bailey's got. J on the other side's already taken a bit of damage to it. Rotate to blue now from OUTLAST, it seems, and there is a backstab here. There is pressure from multiple angles for the attack. Oh, no.
So he's going to get caught out, just unaware of the angle that he can get peeked from in IT. And then I think it's Neptune again, peeking the same angle. We'll find one onto Yentar. He's going to need to go large. He's going to have any chance in this round. The attackers start to flood in. Neptune will get taken out by Bailey, and it's suddenly a 1v3 for Japer. Still on this nice angle that you mentioned earlier, but unless all three of them walk directly into this line of sight, should be an attacking round for OUTLAST.
And indeed it is. He wasn't able to cover the player on the cross, and the plant was threatened. A great coverage from OUTLAST. Vinny, it feels like maybe Circular Spheres are going to let this one slip. OUTLAST in their debut stage have just done a 3-3 half, and if the pattern from Consulate continues, I wouldn't be surprised if they take it here.
Yeah, I mean, the person I look to most at the moment has to be Killerman, right? You think these opening trades, they're great at times, of course, but if you look at those first 3 rounds that they actually won, one of the most influential ones was the Vigil roam when he was playing, and he was able to save his life. Obviously, he got the run out onto relays, which was quite aggressive, but it was sort of more calculated risk rather than just sticking his head in a doorway. So I think if he's able to actually stay alive longer into these rounds, he can have much more of an impact. Of course, once again, this is the battle for third place, so perhaps not quite the amount of...
It's not the highest stakes, but I will say, like, put yourself in OUTLAST shoes right now. These guys are all, like, the youngest team in the league, by far. Like, I think 3 of them are 18. The average age of the players on this team is under 19 years old, which is wild compared to, like, what, 25 plus on Prodigy and 22, 23 on most of the other teams. And yeah, OUTLAST have never played in this league before. Only Bailey actually has experience at this level of competition. Even then, he's far from a veteran of the scene. To come third in your debut stage, that would be pretty crazy considering the pedigree of so many other teams. I mean, you're playing against players like, you know, Killerman, Neptune, Physics have played in this league for a long time, even saved to some degree.
Yeah, and even going further down, we look at Antic, we look at
Oh, yeah.
Supernova. A lot of these guys have played in the league for quite a while, so they definitely have the experience and a lot more experience than these players from Outlast. So you're absolutely correct in that. And I mean, this best of 3 is probably the good way to finish off a season that we had quite low expectations for them. And I think they've definitely outperformed those expectations. But considering how they started during the season, I think they've probably underperformed compared to probably what they expected.
Oh, and Killerman has just died early again, Vinny. This time to a bit of a wall bang. That's really nasty from Yentai. I like that. As soon as he saw that the wall was soft, he knows that usually you've got one player on the stairs on that narrow angle. He can just wall bang. He doesn't actually have to get eyes on that player to pre-fire.
And you can immediately tell the level of aggression coming out from Outlast on their defense is slightly less than what we saw from Killerman. Obviously, that peak there from Yentai was quite aggressive, but it's nowhere near as risky as what we were seeing from Killerman. And it's probably a little bit of karma in the end that Killerman was the first one to die on that peak. This clash just occupying this little connector meeting area.
Electrical, I think it's technically called.
Electrical.
But I know there's a lot of contest about that. People want to call it connector, but connector is technically this room.
This room,
Yeah. I've heard many arguments over that.
Well, yeah, like generally a connector is the connector between two rooms.
You would have thought so, right?
Yeah. But no, I'm happy. Electrical. There's a lot of electrical looking rooms at this top floor as well.
Very true. Okay, here comes a big flash, but credit to Bailey. He's backed off nicely. He made sure not to expose himself too much to Neptune here on the window. And with the clash and the deployable shield, this is a very difficult room to clear. Look at this aggression from Relays, though. He's waiting for the swing from Neptune, but I think he's been spotted. No, actually, Physics didn't hear him after all. A C4 from ACOG. It goes from bad to worse, and now Neptune doesn't exactly know where Relays is. Good shot, though. Lands one back. But Outlast very much in the driver's seat here. Desperately now saved. Oh, good pre-fire. He finds one. Maybe this is possible after all.
Yeah, good understanding there from Save, knowing that one of his teammates was going to come and back up the clash once he got blinded, but Bailey has repositioned now in towards Pillar. And there isn't a real direct counter to this clash.
No.
Yentai still hasn't been spotted in IT, and we'll find the double to finish off their first defensive round. And I'm worried, Dev. I'm worried this is going to spiral out of control here for the attack.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Circular Spheres, I mean, look at Physics' face. I think they know what's coming now. The lead has finally been taken for the first time on Nighthaven Labs by Outlast. I mean, for the first time in the series since, the 5th round, or the 6th round of the first map. Actually, you know, I've looked back through the whole series. Never have Outlast actually been ahead in the series until this round right here. This is the first time where they are actually beating Circular Spheres and are closer to winning this match, putting it to bed. CS take their tactical timeout, and that is very much needed right now.
Yeah, and we can see Physics there seeming to lead these conversations. I think definitely one of the IGLs for this team, playing more on that supportive role. I think that round there for Outlast, they hid the clash, which we see a lot of teams do nowadays for that top floor site, and as a result, Circular Spheres did not bring a direct counter to that clash. We saw the Ying, very good at blinding the clash, but nothing really to sort of deter that shield and be able to gain entry into the site. So, well played from Outlast. A lot of aggressive peeking as well, but not allowing Circular Spheres any free map control, making sure they earn every single part of that attack.
Yeah, well. CS, you're taking your tactical timeout. Had a chance to talk it through on the attacking side here of Nighthaven. Now, it took Outlast 4 chances in order to finally get an attacking round win, and then they found 3 in a row. I sure hope for Circular Spheres' sake it doesn't take them as long, because, well, they'll have to face down 3 match points if it does.
Yeah, I mean, that last attack definitely doesn't give me any confidence in what they're trying to do. I think they had probably a better idea about how they were going to attack. They did go for that IT connector split. I think that's a much more consistent way of attacking this top floor than what we've generally seen from ANZ teams. So I don't think they're completely out of this game. I think they definitely have the ability to take some of these attacks. I'm still one of the firm believers that this map isn't super defend-decided. It's just not attacked very well. Killer Man will find the opening pick. Onto Ned with the one-tap on the Deimos.
Oh, get destroyed, buddy.
He either gets the opening pick or he gets opening picked.
Yeah.
There genuinely is no in between. Relays fires back with the Boss G.
Oh, man. OUTLAST have their own Boss G player, but wait, there's more. It's not done. Yeah, taking out saved. Who's had a quiet map, by the way. Look, honestly, maybe these Goya Finker bans actually work.
I think they definitely will have an impact, because especially if they're scrimming and, you know, Saved is only running the Goyo Finker in scrims.
I mean, he's not doing himself any favors if that's the case.
Absolutely not. And to be fair, probably not doing that many favors for his team in general, only running those two operators. Obviously, getting opening kills and being very high in the KD does help in some way, but Siege isn't all about the kills. And if you're struggling to get kills and you're bringing utility...
It was awkward there. Bailey on the first cross, I don't think he saw Killer Man. It's constantly just trades back and forth. Like, so many ones going down. And these teams are very even. And it ends up often in these 3 versus 3s. Typically, when both teams have less players, it does favor that defensive side. As the attack have less util available. And there comes Neptune to take down Bailey. Unsupported, uninformed. Now it's all up to Yentire in a 1v3. Try and keep this lead that OUTLAST have established, but Circular Spheres should have an idea of where he is now as he rotates back towards the site. He might not have heard that drop. He needs to check to his right, spots out the player and takes down Physics. He's got no information, though. He does know where these other players are. As Circular Spheres have to recompose. Neptune and Japer together now. As the Thatcher comes out, Yentire still has no clue. He's actually going for a massive rotation. There's no info seemingly, and he stabs Japer in the back. A 1v1. Neptune sticking that diffuser. As he jumps up, he sprays him down, and he wins the 1v1. A big sigh of relief there for Neptune and the CS boys. They do not throw, and they keep this game going, chugging along. 4 rounds apiece.
Seen it all before, Dev. We've seen 1v3s, we've seen 2v5s, we've seen 5v3s.
I think every possible combination we have seen in this game, maybe except the actual 1v5.
But yeah, Yentire actually played this quite well. Able to get it down to the 1v3 and then stab Japer in the back. Japer giving away his position by bucking into that wall, into storage, and then Yentire rotating around, but just didn't have the information on where Neptune was eventually planting that bomb. Circular Spheres get their first attack on the board. Just looking to see some defensive players that aren't dying in the first 30 seconds. I think I'd be very interested to see how both teams play out these rounds with 5 up and how they're actually going to use the utility a bit more effectively.
Yeah, they're not really very methodical clears. Very chaotic clears. And chaotic roams as well. All those OUTLAST players roaming last round were just singular.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it kind of snowballs from that initial gunfight, depending on who wins it. So if your teammate is the one that dies, you generally want to go and find a kill to sort of bring it back. And then vice versa. If your teammate is the first one to get the kill, you're expecting more aggression. But if you're still moving forward and just starting out your attack, you might just walk into another gunfight again. So yeah, it's it's just the pace of the rounds being set in the first 10 seconds.
It's such a meme, bro.
Relays will get revenge on Killer Man with this Boss G.
It's legit, like, both teams just have one Boss G player, and their job is just to stick their little noggin in every single window and every single doorway at the start of every round.
Whichever window gets opened first is the window that's getting feeds.
And here's a jump out from Bailey. I don't know how he had that read, but like most of the time you would have expected that there's a player supporting him. You wouldn't necessarily know that he's on drone. But the only reason that kill was guaranteed was because that Physics was droning. And now it's a 5 versus 3, as Saved has also lost his life. Utterly useless this game for the most part, Saved has been, which is unusual as we usually tout him to be such a good fragger. Now CS in a 2v5, and they're destined to lose this round.
We've said that all day, Dev. We have said that all day, and it has not turned out that way very often.
Don't peek! Don't peek! Yentire, stop peeking! Like, legit, just sit in that corner and force them to make the move.
And he's given a little bit of a chance.
He just gave it to them.
As has happened very often today. Bailey just repositioning into this pillar room. No crossfires needed. We'll take the opening pick onto Japer, and that's fair enough. I think you had the reload. So now Neptune in the 1v4, and this round's over. Too many crossfires up here on the top floor. A lot of information still on his position, and Bailey's going to finish it off anyway. So 5-4 in favor of Outlast. I think the name of the game right now is very aggressive defenses, and it seems to be working for them. But once again, you're taking a risk. You're basically determining the outcome of the round within the first 15 seconds to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I think this jump out was basically just a result of him playing Solus, seeing that there's no Claymore on the window jump out, and perhaps he even saw physics droning.
Maybe, yeah.
With the gadget, so maybe a bit more of a calculated risk than we first thought.
And Bailey's actually, to his credit, played really well. He's hit double digits now. This has been his map for sure. Overall, been a solid series from him, as much as we meme on him. It's been okay. You're shrugging now. You're looking at the numbers. What is he, 23, 22?
Yeah, I think he probably feels like he's played better than he actually has, but that also could be a result of sort of what we've come to expect.
Maybe. I do feel like he's had some big rounds and he's had some nothing rounds. Like on the Blitz especially, on Consulate, I didn't see a lot out of him, to be honest. Speaking of shields, we're actually going to see Bailey on the Clash this time, and he's hiding it again. We've seen this before.
And yeah, it still doesn't seem to be a direct nerf or a direct counter, apologies, to that Clash. I think the Nomad is used generally from the IT breach to Nomad off the door, and sometimes you can catch the Clash, but yeah, nothing direct. No use of Zoph. Obviously, the Ash is pretty necessary given that mirror is up.
Yeah.
So you don't really see the Zoph that often, but...
Yeah, it just would have been nice to have some kind of counter here to the Clash. Like, I mean, even Akali, if you're able to try and, substitute the Thatcher out for Akali, I don't know. You got options. There's actually a pre-placed Nitro as well from Relays already all the way down. I think it leads to the hallway outside connector. Yeah, so here's in the pip you can see. That's the meeting window. So I'm not sure exactly how they'll get information that someone's jumping in that window. Oh, it's from the Clash peeking this other window. As soon as they see someone jump in, Bailey's going to call out to his teammate, detonate the C4, and that is the kill on the Japer.
Great spot there, Dev. That was awesome. Wow. Yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting that Bailey was playing so close to the window where he's obviously still at risk of getting punched, as we saw Killerman do. But, yeah, perfect play there from them. And, yeah, a little bit of a slower round. Obviously, the opening pick coming through that C4, but saved, able to refrag out the relays, just over-peaking a little bit on that mirror. ACOG retaking that position. And opting to fall off a little bit. Just here to support the Clash now.
Don't click. Don't click. So close to killing his teammate here. Flash has come in. Does force ACOG back. The air jab also locks that control out. Can't quite get the kill onto the Clash. Eventually it comes through, but ACOG with a double! That should have been the advantage for CS. And indeed, I guess it will be after an overpeak from ACOG. Gets a little bit overzealous after finding that kill. Now he's dueling Killerman, who finds him. And we're back up onto breakpoint. 5 rounds apiece.
Yeah, good round from Killerman there. Being able to stand on.
So did you hear that from the production room?
Yeah, I thought so. Being able to stay alive throughout the course of that round really helped his team. Just keep that pressure on Con. Didn't throw his life away to anything really silly. And once ACOG got those 2 picks into Electrical, I thought maybe he'd save the round a little bit. And then, yeah, just Killerman able to finish it off with some really nice shots. And a good attack from them. Once they cleared out Con, cleared out Electrical, obviously they lost that first pick on Japer, who was Thatcher, which is a pretty big operator to lose as well.
True.
Is something that can deal with the Clash a little bit more effectively, but...
I actually quite like that air jab on the Con or Electrical door. It's a nice way, it kind of counter the Clash a little bit as well. Like, she wasn't really able to easily walk back.
Yeah, she was definitely isolated in there. I think that was the main idea of that push, which was very good from them. It's probably the best thing we've seen so far.
10 seconds left.
And a different honestly, a different attack from them from what we generally see in ANZ. Generally, we see these IT blue pushes or IT rafters pushes, but they put a much more heavier emphasis on connector.
Yeah, that was a good move. It worked. Now Outlasts still have another chance here to grasp match point. And we're seeing more spawn peeking, more aggression in this early round from Bailey, no less, who's playing the Izami with the regenning util. We're going back straight up to the top floor again. funnily enough, Outlast haven't actually taken us to the basement once on this defensive side.
Yeah, and they've moved away from the clash here, so I think just sort of realizing it wasn't providing as much as they wanted it to, especially considering the way that Circular Spheres are attacking the site now. It's a really nice angle from Japer as well on this rooftop, holding that electrical door. But this is the angle that everybody seems to be playing at the moment.
I think the wall's reared though, right?
Yeah, double reared off. So that mirror basically just used for information now and for the C4 over the top. Has it pre-ribbed, so the attackers won't have any indication that it is coming over.
They seem to be a little bit careful of it though. EMP goes out. Shoots it straight after the EMP. It does a lot of damage onto saves, but he does survive. And I didn't quite see what happened there with that bandit battery. ACOG fumbles his own C4, and it's awkward now. The Azami trying to come in and block up this hole, but yeah, this has been a really good start from CS. They got so much control of the site now. However, Killerman will fall.
And Saved has taken a very aggressive angle here onto Pillar. It looks like as soon as Bailey on Azami peaks, he will be taken out. This IT wall has been open, so a bit more pressure onto this defensive setup. Flash comes out from Neptune. Allows him to slightly push up and get rid of this wob.
Oh no. And
yeah, Bailey overpeaked into Con. His life gets taken.
And the problem is now there's just no space to sit here for Outlast. They're really relying on this single keeper barrier to stay alive. And with Bailey down, there's no more of those coming to support. Look at the claustrophobia. Two players sitting on top of each other on the side. The IT breach now open. It's looking rough for Outlast.
And yeah, this is the power of this two-pronged attack. ACOG's going to be blinded by Neptune in electrical. More flashes coming through, and that edge is going to go off. But Relay is there to save his life.
Physics. We will trade, and then our ACOG gets one back again. It's just a complete bloodbath on the side, but somehow Save does get into a plantable position. It's a 2 versus 1 as Yentire brings back the advantage. Is Saved able to come through clutch? We know what this guy's capable of, but is he going to be able to land the shots? Nah, Yentire has been farming. He's overtaken Saved and even Neptune, and he's won that round for Outlast and put them on match point.
And Yentire with a little bit of BM at the end there. Earned that. They played it very well there in the 2v1. They did not over-aggress once they heard the plant going down. Just waited. They knew that once Saved had it down, he was going to be pretty isolated on that pillar position. If they could take 2 different gunfights or 2 different angles onto that position, they were all good. And that's a round win. Match point, Outlast Gaming.
I can't believe we're here. Like, seriously, Vinny. After 7-3 on Border, and Outlast looked absolutely cooked. And then CS started, reasonably strong on Consulate as well. It's been quite a journey to reach 6-5 Outlast on map 3.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good reflection of the stage for Circular Spheres. They started off pretty well. Oh, I think actually...
They started off badly, then they 7-0'd Outlast, and then they just went, and every game it was like flip a coin.
Yeah. But yeah, like what we expected more from them, given the pedigree of the players that they have. And just weren't able to really live up to it this stage. Had a decent series, but all 3 maps, they've had pretty substantial leads and just let them slip. Really don't...
10 seconds left.
I don't even know how to describe it. They don't have like the killer instinct to really put away their opponents once they have their foot on the throat. But Outlast have done a good job keeping their nerve. They've taken good tack timeouts where once they've come out of them, ended up winning a few rounds in a row. So I think they can be pretty happy with the way they played today.
That's very true. Outlast actually won 4 rounds in a row in the middle of this game. And since then, it has been very neck and neck. But in that round, again, it could have been anyone's game. But in those clutch moments, what matters is how you step up. And that's exactly what Yentire has done all today. 14 kills, 2.0 KD on this map. In very frag-centric positions as well. Now, for the first time, Vinny, in this half, we've actually gone down to the basement. So Outlast do play this basement bomb site after all.
Yeah, finally forced down onto it after winning that and then... or losing and then winning that top floor site. And Yentire has taken a pretty aggressive position up here in blue on the Boss G. Finally got the Boss G license for himself after Relays has been holding onto it for quite a while. This attack looks like it's going to be a top floor roam clear. Yentire on the Vigil. He's going to be able to dodge some of these drones.
Yeah, I don't think they spotted him yet. Doesn't have much gadget regen left. Oh, they know him. Japer is waiting for him. He hears that Boss G. I believe the drone's been shot, and now he's just looking for a way back down. Doesn't know if he's being cut off at all, but Bailey is there nearby to support.
Yeah, Circular Sphere is not taking very aggressive angles on this cutoff. Although the Deimos here of Killerman has seemed to isolate Bailey, and he's been shot from 2 different places. Relays will refrag onto Killerman. Some really good refragging there.
Okay, Yentire. That may have just fumbled over time. As I see big shrug from you, Vinny. Circular Spheres, even with the Valkyrie camera, just out of position there. These 2 roamers, unfortunately not having the impact that was needed for Outlast, and now CS are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, that little gunfight there screams to me that maybe they don't play this bomb site as much as we say they might be able to. They did not have the hatch soft for Yentire to fall back to site. Or the hatch open, apologies. So now, Circular Spheres are definitely in the driving seat here to win this round. Japer needs to do a lot of work on this vertical, but only 40 seconds left, so he needs to get to work very quickly.
Yeah, and that nitro cell that we saw before has actually been destroyed or detonated. I didn't manage to see which, but it's no longer active. Information on that player as well. Inside of Animus spotted. Oh, Relays. He's gone for a big flank here. The Valkyrie cam is taken down, but he still seemingly has the gusto to go for sight. And immediately these players from CES realize that is their moment to go deep. Saved outside the breach, and 2 other players from CS fighting their way inside, but Relays, he's retaken above, he's found one. The GG is called early by Neptune, and Outlast have outlasted Circular Spheres. 3rd place in the region is theirs.
3rd place, and they should be very proud of their efforts today. Honestly, there was 3 different maps where they were under the pump. They were definitely the underdog going into today, and they've managed to come out with the win. So congratulations to them, the youngest team in the region. And yeah, can't wait to see what the future holds for this team.
Absolutely, massive round and massive game from them. A couple of standout moments, but really for Circular Spheres, like what is going on with them at the moment, Vinny?
Yeah, I mean, as I keep mentioning, just the story of the stage with experienced players that can really make a